So yeah, it's
Absolutely.
fine.
Imagine us starting a show where we're just in the middle of a conversation and we just carry on talking about it, assuming that everyone has context.
And he just kept talking in one incredibly long sentence that moved from topic to topic. It was really quite hypnotic. Hypnotic. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Anyway.
Hello. Didn't see you come in.
That was so. You know how I've English. I have at points said to you I want to at least have a foundational understanding of video editing.
Yes.
Yes. The thing I thought I should do.
Do you want to do video editing for Adamant IT?
Was that I
Semi-serious question.
Is that I should learn to do that by taking the Blu-rays of The Next Generation, cutting the scenes that make the music video for the Jean-Luc Picard song, and remaking the video in HD.
Oh, that's
from the HD sources. Because I was like, it will be silly and pointless, but it's also a case of I have a motivation because I like the song, I like the Star Trek, I like the Blu-ray re-releases. So it was kind of a case of, and also it forces me to work in HD.
Yeah.
And just kind of stuff like that.
That's actually also, I'll say hello to everyone in a moment, but we're in the middle of something. What are you doing here? Go away.
Get out of here, stalker.
That's actually kind of an interesting start point as well, because when you're trying to learn something new, one of the hardest bits is kind of like knowing what you're trying to achieve and having something where you're trying to recreate something. Because the big, like with video editing, I kind of had an interest in video editing like 10 years ago and longer, but I didn't have anything to edit. Yeah. You know, so I was just making, I started out making some video game videos where I was trying to do like, not so, like trailers or like a cinematic thing of games that I was playing. And, I was actually doing compilation videos from where I used to play Final Fantasy XI and stuff like that. But still, the hardest bit was just having stuff to edit. So like, if you were thinking, oh, I want to try my hand at video editing, but I don't know what to edit. And like, if you gave me some footage, I don't know how I want to, I don't know enough to visualize how to structure this video. But if you've got something that already exists that you're trying to recreate, you know what it is you're trying to achieve. Yeah. And that means that then all you have to focus on is the mechanics of doing the thing. Yeah, absolutely. And then once you learn that, you start going, oh, and now I could do this, now I could do this, and now I'm making my own stuff. Yeah. So yeah. The difficulty I've got, and I'm sure this will also be slightly surprising given the fact of obviously like I do photography, I do videography, is that I don't do artistic. Like I never have done. My style has always been exceedingly documentary, factual, this is what occurred. Yeah. And kind of thing. And yet somehow I've also managed to take pictures that lots of people have gone, oh, this is so fabulous, it's artistic. And I'm just like, it's also just what happened. Yeah. And it's kind of a case of I have this weird disconnect where I don't have the vision, I don't have the arty, but I still somehow manage to end up with the photos that several people go, oh, they're really good. And I was like, okay. Sorry, I just saw Steve Higgins' comments. I suspect the guys are still sat there from last week. They're animatronic. And it's just like, that tickled my funny bone, that one did. Anyway, yes, I agree. That can actually lead into a more interesting philosophical discussion as to what is art and stuff like that. But also, I'm going to talk to the chat for a moment, I think.
Absolutely. The people, hello.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm just going to be like, yeah. Fun fact, the original reason why we started this podcast is that now and then we have what we think are very interesting in-depth discussions. And we were like, we should record these because we think we're fun and interesting. So, yeah.
Well, we should record these because I am fun and interesting. And you believe yourself to be fun and interesting.
Identity is confidence. Believe you are the thing and you are the thing.
Identity is confidence?
Oh, yeah, well...
Sorry, I thought you read that from someone. No. I was trying to read chat at the same time as you were reading it. I was just like, I don't see this message. Have I gone blind?
Right, anyway, good everyone. Hello. Afternoon.
Good everyone afternoon.
Yes, that one. How are we all doing? Right, can an ultrasonic cleaner remove surface rust from a motherboard? Yeah, it'll get rid of the loose stuff, but you know, it's not going to stop the area from being rusted because rust is the metal being eaten away. So it's not going to remove that entirely, but it will.
My question is, why is your motherboard rusty?
Yeah, old liquid damage, old corrosion, yeah, old retro stuff maybe. Well, steel or something. I don't know actually. You can get rust on circuit boards though. It exists. There's probably something on there that rusts. It might be a rainy day for cider, but you're still having one. Good for you, Yate. We shall also be partaking. I need to finish or take home the rest of the Dowdings. Dowdings? Yes, Dowdings. That we were having last week, because I've been eyeing that and being like, I should take that home and drink it.
Put that thing back where it came from. Also healthy.
Weird insertion, but I still appreciate it, you know.
Sorry. Yes.
How to pronounce new? Is it new or new? Get out of my head, JE, because I literally made that joke at the start of a video that I recorded yesterday, where I did a repair on this EVGA sound card that popped into the mailbox that had new audio, and I literally opened the video with a joke of being like, new audio. It's like new metal because new and roll the intro kind of thing, you know. But yeah.
I wish
do you want to perceive it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I was strongly considering buying one of these.
Oh really? Yeah.
Just because.
Hello, PNL.
What the hell is the CEO of EVGA?
I don't know his name.
That guy. He is apparently massively into audio, like hardcore into audio. That's why this exists.
That makes sense.
And he went, there are no modern sound cards. EVGA engineers, make me a sound card. So they did, and now they're selling it, kind of thing. And I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when this card was new, but it says on the back 2005.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, that's a really old design, that thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if the card is actually that old or whether it's just an old design. So yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about sound cards in general. You know, like this is kind of an interesting one because the actual repair that I did on this is I replaced the optical output port on it because the plastics were broken. And I was just like, isn't using an optical output defying the point of having a sound card in your computer because you're handing the digital audio conversion over to the next thing downstream? I've just put a big old moral dilemma into your head, haven't I?
Moving on. But yeah, legitimately, yeah, it would be.
It's a jolly nice sound card.
But it's also the case of I don't know why anyone who is actually interested in audio quality would be using SPDIF because SPDIF is so bandwidth restricted by modern comparisons. I mean, like it only actually does uncompressed stereo. Everything else is digitally compressed.
Yeah. I mean, I used it for a long time just because it meant that I could have surround sound from my PC to my surround sound speakers over a single wire.
Sorry, I meant someone who is willing to buy a sound card.
Yeah.
Presuming the reason for buying the sound card was increased audio quality, and then would use SPDIF.
Yeah. Because if you're buying a sound card and quality, you're probably buying quality cables and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like it's still going to be, you know, compressed optical is still going to be better quality than bad analog. You know, other assumptions taken into account.
Yeah.
But still, don't know.
Yeah, I like the fact it's got a proper headphone.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch as well. Yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need to test that it works. I've done the repair on it, but I need to take it home because I don't have anything in here with an optical receiver or anything. But my surround sound speakers at home do have an optical input on them, so I can actually connect this up at home.
Is that a USB?
Front panel audio header.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Bit of a bummer that it's on the side there like that instead of at the back of the card where the power input is.
Oh, yeah, having it here.
Yeah, that would be a lot more sensible in my opinion. But yeah, still, it's a nice card, you know. That's it. I'm hoping it's going to work. You know how I bought a I said I bought a an optical adapter just to get the port. didn't have the right port on it, so I butchered the dead Gigabyte motherboard. And it was really funny because what happened was, I said in the video, I was just like, also, my friend and colleague Caradog said you could probably rob one from a motherboard because it's probably never been used on a motherboard, like this motherboard here. But I bought this for it, and also open it up and it's the wrong one. So about that motherboard, you know. So foreshadowing.
Oh dear.
Optical less thick cables. That's an interesting point.
At least, you know, that AM3 board was useful for something.
Yeah, well, it's a dead board at this point, so, you know, it's good to start robbing parts off of it.
It's AM3.
Also, it doesn't work. Also, it functionally doesn't... I'm going back to the chat.
Yes, the chat is less annoying.
Let's see. Yeah, external DAC usually beats any internal sound cards you can find. I mean, to be honest, these days I usually recommend going external just because you can have more useful connectors on them to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a lot of the time, if people are running external sound cards, it's probably because they want a good headphone amplifier, in which case having something sitting on the desk next to them is more practical to plug their headphones into. But also you might want something with like XLR for microphones and things like that, which I think is where the useful value is.
Yeah.
Moato, hello.
I need to get a at least access to a decent DAC just to compare it to obviously the ones I've got, just to see if there is actually a noticeable difference between, you know, the thing in like the Go XLR, the Beringer, whatever it was, the Scarlett 2012i2, just to see if there's actually a you know, an actual meaningful difference.
I don't think there's going to be a meaningful difference. I think it would be possible for a trained ear or a tuned ear kind of thing to listen and be like, you know, this super expensive one is slightly better. Yeah. However, I think you're deep into the point of diminishing returns. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like, it's also just
that much being said, like, because also when we were doing the tests, did we decide we could hear the difference between the Scarlett and the Behringer? I can't remember.
I don't think
the Behringer was like 30 quid or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think so. But it's also a case of the Scarlett and the Behringer aren't very good.
Yeah.
In the scale of interfaces,
absolutely. I knew the Scarlett was low end.
Yeah, they are not good interfaces. But it was also just a case of kind of for the cost and so on. I ummed and ahed about sending the Scarlett back just because of the price and obviously having the Behringer.
The Behringer ding ding, yeah.
Yes. And having that. But it was the fact that for some reason, oh, I know what it was. It was because it was USB-B. The printer one. The USB microphone one. Yeah. And the Scarlett was Type-C. And I was just the Scarlett is Type-C, I have C2C cables, and I can plug the Scarlett into my phone.
Can your phone use this?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Fair enough.
I used that quite frequently when I was, you know, in bed or whatever, and was just like, I didn't want to have a laptop or something. I would just play stuff from my phone, and obviously my phone is giving digital audio out from the phone. Yeah. The phone is functionally not involved in the sound.
Yeah.
And it's being decoded by the Scarlett. So in theory, it would be better quality. And also I'm using half decent headphones. So it's a case of, yeah, it was a decent experience.
Is the Scarlett bus powered?
Yeah.
Imagine just carrying the Scarlett, like, imagine just carrying the Scarlett in your pocket and just walking down the street with a big old pair of cans on, kind of thing.
Right, and then when you get a phone call, you pull the XLR microphone out your pocket.
That's very funny. Hello, Milan. Hello, Serbia. Or hello, the country of Serbia, from where you are from. Greetings, all my, hello.
But yes, doing that.
Right, Jay says, will there be something to dismantle or mantle today? It depends if I can be bothered. For the past 3 streams, I think I've been threatening to put that motherboard into the frame PC. So I might do that as a special treat. We'll see where the conversation takes us, I think. What's a Scarlett? The Focusrite Scarlett is a USB audio interface. It's a very, very, very common one, very popular.
Yeah, which allows you to take XLR microphones and also, I forgot what the connector's called. The one that like guitars and stuff use. You know, that larger jack. Is it the 1/4-inch jack?
Yeah, I think it's 1/4-inch. Yeah.
That 1/4-inch jack, the bigger 3.5mm phono. Plug that in, and then
amplify,
and then it will take that and allow you to record it on a computer with effectively nothing else, because it gives you a digital input to the computer. So yeah, and also obviously it does sound out from the device as well.
Do you want to forget to get me the MOSFET models? Says Moeto. Is this a passive aggressive way of saying get me the MOSFET models so I can get you the MOSFETs? And also bring them up and come on the show and help us put them on there.
Help us! I mean, I did threaten Moeto with, with bundling in the boot of a car.
I noticed that earlier on, yeah. But for the record, we bully because we love you kind of thing. Like, if we're ever being overbearing, then just say, But yes. Probably. I did actually get this. I will check this in but a moment.
You know what we could do, really, probably quite easily.
Well, I have. Yeah, I was going to say. They're close by because I actually looked at it the other day with intention to actually look it up. So yeah. Christmas Crustacean said, "What settings do you recommend for first-time hot airing off of the BIOS? 400 max air." Yeah.
Oh, it's screwed up.
Yeah, 400 max air, I think that's reasonable. You might not need max air. I tell you what I've been doing.
What the hell?
Is it a WSON, so the super flat one, or is it a SOP 8, where it's got 8 legs sticking out the sides? If it's a SOP 8, then I would strongly recommend wetting the legs of the chip with your soldering iron and some fresh solder first. It makes it come off the board so much easier. It cuts out all the drama. You can do that with WSON as well if you've got a sharp screwdriver that can get down the sides of it. But yeah, if you do that, when you actually put the hot air on there, it'll be a lot easier.
Why am I taking BIOS chips off with a screwdriver?
Oh, I meant soldering iron.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, do not screwdriver your BIOS chip off. I meant soldering iron. So yes. Max air, no. Other resistors can blow off. Yeah, only if you knock them, in my experience. Yeah, I guess it depends on what hot air station you've got as well, because like I've got a little Quick, and my Quick 857DW, it doesn't have huge airflow on it. Whereas if you've got a big hot air station that's got like 10 gallons a second of airflow, then maximum air is probably going to be a bit hectic. Yes. Anyone who's actually learning board repair, I do highly recommend experimenting with lower temperatures and lower airflow so you can see what the difference is. Because sometimes you might suddenly discover that you don't need nearly as much airflow that you thought you did. Or sometimes you might turn down the temperature and find that nothing is happening and go like, yes, no, I do need that 400 degrees, and so on. Ultimately, yeah, experience and practice. If it's SOP 8, it's also pretty easy to get under the legs with tweezers and gently pull it up while melting the solder. Yeah, I'd say that's valid.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I think there is a risk of some bendage, but also because, if you do bend some legs ever so slightly, they'll bend back. So I think that's valid, but again, take care though. What are you perceiving there?
Well, it's just the fact of there are actually holes in the board for dual 8-pin.
Oh, yes, I see, yeah.
And I was just like, are those other holes actually connected?
Don't know.
I was just like, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still.
At any rate, the actual MOSFETs are still in the bag here. Muerto, what do you need? Just the MOSFETs, or are we doing drivers as well? Or
Oh yeah, because that was taken off, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, looks like we're missing a driver down there. Yeah. Is there? Oh yes, there's a driver in the packet here. Yeah. Let me get the microscope.
What is a Y and a Q?
Q is a chip. So a Q is going to be any kind of. Oh, I see. Oh, on the fuses, I don't know. I don't know my.
Oh, I
fuse
see.
codes.
That's just this is a fuse.
Yeah, those are
I
fuses.
See. Okay.
Those codes mean things like tolerance and quick blow or slow blow and stuff like that. However, I don't know my codes very well. I'm just plugging in the microscope so we can have a look at these chips. Stand by.
Oh, this had Samsung memory. Huh.
We really should get that thing fixed because it's not a difficult fix.
Assuming, obviously, the core hasn't been exploderized.
We've no reason to believe that it has. Because I seem to remember that after we removed the faulty MOSFETs, the short circuit was gone. Because I think it had there was a. I think VCore was okay. Sorry, VCore output was okay, but the 12-volt rail in was bad from it or something like that.
Oh, we could water cool it.
Yeah.
I'd do that. Hold on, where's... Oh, no, it's not that box. I thought that was the box that had all of the random cheap blocks I bought. Because I bought just a die-only block.
Oh, a die-only block? Okay, hang on a sec.
It's in the water cooling thing, but not now. It was just a case I was just going to look if it was the right size.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So I was just like, right. That's kind of cool.
Let me find the video input for the thing. If I go to capture with face cam and change HDMI to Camlink.
Good.
I think that's actually just what. Yeah, that is just what the thing is seeing right now. Whoop.
Ah, look, it's some wood fibers. Oh my god, what is that interlacing?
There we go. Those are our two chips.
Oh, Q is 10 amps. The other letter was Y. What? Walled floor lamp? Wild floor lamp.
You're having a stronk. Yeah.
James Bond's having a stronk.
Full of ondulance. Yeah. Right. Catching up on chat. Yes. Right. Yeah. Carrier's about to say yes. Anyway, that's it. Those are the chips we need. Don't know what the small boy is. You check your DRMOS 1 sec. Okay. Yeah. I assume that. Oh, you put it back on. Is it too? No, don't worry about it. Yeah, that's going to be the driver chip. There's nothing else that it can be.
There is no other option from what I can see.
Yeah. That is a small chip that we took off of the board, and there are. I assume that the others are all the same as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a. Yeah, I can't read the text from here, but they're clearly the same chip. So those are the four either driver chips or PWM chips. I don't know. I assume they're driver chips.
So, yeah, they're the same.
Yeah, 81162. Yeah.
DE18AP. Yeah, they're the same.
If you remember correctly, the small boy is fine. Fair enough. Oh, there we go.
Wait, hold on.
Floor lamp says they're phase doublers, which makes sense.
Oh, what, the little ones?
Yeah.
So where's the actual controller?
So yeah, and because these are DRMOS, the driver is built in. So then the PWM chip is that's what DRMOS is. It's driver MOSFET.
Yeah, driver MOSFET. Yeah.
For the longest time, I was like, "What the hell is a Dr. MOS?" You know. PWM chip is probably on that guy on the back, or one of those.
And yeah, it's an NCP 81174. Yeah, that will be the controller redoodad.
Set your phases to
Oh,
Cider.
wait, what?
Maybe we will.
Hold on a minute. I've just noticed there's an OCP unlock and an overvolt unlock. Literally just pads to bridge or unbridge.
I see.
Excellent!
I was going to say, you're getting ideas, aren't you? Yeah.
How many watts can a AliExpress water block take?
Who owns this graphics card right now? I don't actually know. Is it size? Is it yours? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd like.
It's in my hands.
That's not how this works.
Also,
Sai is claiming ownership. So
also, it's only a 980.
Yeah.
I'm sure if there was an actual problem, I could swap it out for another one of my graphics cards and just be like, "Here you go. Would you like this instead? Is this an acceptable trade?"
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Send us your 980s, and Caradog will swap it for a 3060. You've got several of those, right? You know.
I still have 2.
Yeah. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Hello, Graham, and your assistant. That's generous words there. Generous words. Very good. Only a 980 now. What could it be at 600 watts? Wasn't Commander Soyo doing something bonkers with a 980 recently?
I don't recall.
I'll
be honest and say I haven't kept up to date with anything that's going on with YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I must confess, I still haven't gotten around to watching his content, but I think I saw a thumbnail of him overclocking a 980 that was e-powered, and if someone's e-powering a card, you know they're doing something bonkers with it. Is
this missing screws?
Yes, there's a whole bunch of screws in the packet over here, so
I
will gather this stuff back together actually just before it gets lost.
Because I was
yeah, in the packet over here we have some more screws, 2 MOSFETs, the phase doubler, and 2 of the inductors.
Right. That's why I couldn't work out how you'd screw this back panel on with these springy screws.
Yeah.
Understood.
Well, now immediately put that there. Air fry it. It's very funny, but don't. Right. Very well then. Good. I'm immediately breaking out some cider, I think, because I want to drink more of this. I'd also like to thank the anonymous donator who bought us some cups. This is it. We've nailed the grift. All I have to do is just look pathetic by not having things on the show, and people will buy them for us.
It's my method for getting Teltec to fix things for me.
What, just getting it to the point where he can't bear it any longer and we'll just do it for you? Yeah.
Annoy him sufficiently with my stupidity. Sorry, running a 4090 at 100 watts?
Yeah, I was going to say, what's the... what?
I don't
tell
remember
us the pitch
this.
of
Also,
that.
why am I vibrating? Hello?
What was the pitch of that? Like, was it still performing well? Like, how did it do at 100 watts? Because, like, it doesn't surprise me that, like, modern stuff, you know, they're running it at the bleeding edge kind of thing. So they are hilariously inefficient to get every last bit of power out of it. Because, like, we saw this with the Ryzen 7000 series. When you put them into eco mode, they retain a surprising amount of performance in eco mode. You know, not all of it. You do lose some performance, but like certainly, like even the stage 1 eco mode, like 90 watts or something like that, you knock out like half the power consumption and lose like 15% performance or something like that, which arguably is a pretty damn good trade. But yeah, I'd be interested to know how that went. Who was it? It was Kevin Holmes that said that. Yeah. Oh, 1,000 watts. Never mind. That's a completely different video. Did he actually get it to 1,000 watts? Because Linus Tech Tips also did a video about a 1,000 watt 4090, and in the thumbnail it said 1,000 watts, and in the video they actually got it to about 600.
Yeah.
And I watched that video and was very annoyed.
The difference is competency.
Yeah. Well, don't get me wrong. They had improved a lot. Like they did a couple of mods to the card. They had to solder some bits on, and the soldering was drastically better. They actually they'd gotten a decent soldering iron, for example. You know, like the bare minimum. All of the stuff where we were like, the last time they did a video about modding a graphics card where they had like hobby kit equipment, we were like, the hell is wrong with you? You know. This one, at least they came in with some good equipment. So I was like, okay, this is good, you're improving. But I was just very annoyed that they titled it 1000-watt graphics card. It's like, well, no, you had a 1000-watt BIOS. Yeah. You didn't actually get the card anywhere near 1000-watt consumption. Yeah. So what does this mean? It means nothing. Yeah. You know. Yeah. So I was a bit annoyed about that.
I know that DeBauer was showing off some of the Elmore Labs stuff on a 4090 a couple of months ago, and got a Strix 4090 to something like 700 watts.
Yeah, or something. Now we're cooking. Yeah, like I don't think you'll actually get one to 1000 watts.
Oh, I can't imagine why not.
Are you partaking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'll let you pour as you see fit. Yeah,
just because. Yeah, Asus have supplied the BIOSes to hit those levels.
Yeah.
But obviously, they haven't. But they have.
It got leaked. Yeah.
Oh no!
He only got it to 740. That's further than LTT.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just going to quickly cut in for a sec, just before it rolls off the top of the screen. Some guy, thank you for the 10 Canadian dollary dues. Hey guys, here's a tip for all the great content over the years. Cheers from Canada. Thank you very much, some guy. Thank you, random citizen.
I love you too, random citizen.
Yeah, I need to watch Megamind. I've not seen it before.
So somehow one of the scenes from Megamind came up in conversation in the office, and I spent a good 45 seconds just there going, the animated film, where I can't remember anything that happens, and I can't remember what any of the characters are called, and all I can remember is the scene of some guy pointing at the camera and it panning to a person in the audience. So I was like, oh, Megamind, there we go, fine, it's sorted.
Yep.
But yeah, it was just about that sat there like, I literally can't even describe this to you.
Very well. So yes, yeah, either way though, it was interesting. I think the most interesting thing about these graphics card videos, both LTT ones and probably DeBauer's, which was probably a bit more in depth, was the mod they were using to get the voltage higher. That was extremely interesting because the problem with the 40 series is the fact that you're just so voltage limited that you can't get it any further. Yeah. And whereas they had that widget in that was actually allowing them to modify the voltage. Yeah. And that was extremely interesting because also that looked like a very simple mod, in fact, you know.
Effectively, yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of interesting.
I kind of want to get the Elmore Lab stuff, but it's also a case of I'm kind of like, I'm not actually going to use it. But it's also the case of I'm like, it's cool stuff to get. And it's kind of that thing of like, this is cool stuff to own, but I won't use it. But it's cool stuff to own. Yeah,
yeah. It'd be fun to buy something like that and like make a video about it or do it on the podcast or something, just to be like, hey, here's that widget that they have in those videos. Yeah. You know, here's what it looks like. Here is how you actually attach it. This is what it does. Because obviously a lot of the time in those videos, they're more focusing on the fact of they're trying to overclock the card. And it's just like, wait, that's really cool. What is that? What is that you're using? How does that work? Yeah. How is it doing it? You know, that is a whole nother video in and of itself, which could be interesting. But so yeah, not that I'm planning on doing it anytime in a hurry, but just saying, you know, I think there's mileage and stuff like that. So yes. Jim asks, can we have a tasting review section just to say things like this cider has a floral undertones and the like? Jim, I appreciate you, because for everyone who appreciates us, just this is not a show about cider yet. It's a running gag now. So I will do you a review of the Dowding's Tower Brew Cider Medium. So, is there a description? Hang on a second. There
yeah,
is not
that's
a
what I was
description.
looking just to see if there was a manufacturer's description.
No, this one doesn't have one. The bottle will probably have one, but not the bag version. All right, hang on a sec. So it's a fairly, it's very bright, this cider. It's very orange or yellowish, you know. So there is a very strong acidic apple flavor to this. You know, like when you have an apple that's got quite an acidic punch to it, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, not like the apple flavored sweets.
Yeah,
acidic.
It's more like when you
waste apple kind of thing. It's not the sour fake apple taste.
It's a lot like when you actually just drink apple juice. Apple juice is actually a very potent flavor, isn't it? When you have like just pure apple juice from a carton kind of thing. It's very apple juice in flavor. And it's a solid medium rather than a sweet. So it's got a bit of bite to it, which is that kind of acidicness. But it's also very accessible for a medium.
Yeah.
Normally for ciders, you've got dry, medium, and sweet, and there's usually a medium dry or a medium sweet as steps in the middle. So normally when you go into medium, you're expecting it to have a bit of a, this is a lot more like cider than it is like apple juice, you know, like Copperbergs and trash ciders are very much on the sweet end of the scale. So this one, you can tell it says it's a medium, but it doesn't taste like a medium to me, which is not a bad thing.
It tastes sweeter, but is texturally medium.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because you drink it, and this is going to sound like a stupid comment to those who don't understand the feeling that I'm about to describe, but you drink it and it's wet. Right? As in, it tastes wet. But whereas when you drink a very dry cider, it's obviously wet, but it's a case of the taste is immediately just dry and just, oh.
Yeah. I think it's refreshing. Whereas dry ciders are often not particularly refreshing, which is why I'm not a fan of them, because you don't really drink a dry cider and be like, oh, that's good. This is one of the reasons why barbecue ciders tend to be on the sweeter end of the scale, because when you're if you're at a garden party with a barbecue and your mates, you want something that's sweet and refreshing and bright and crisp kind of thing. And a dry cider is none of those things. Yeah. You know, a dry cider is something that you have in the evening at home with the curtains drawn kind of thing, in my opinion. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy.
Where I get my special sampling cup and I sit by the fire and I put on my lounge.
Yeah, drinking cider from a cognac glass, you know, where you hold it like this.
Yes, I'm getting sweet notes of, you know, sweet notes of agricultural diesel and Somerset scrumping.
Ben Laird, thank you for the fiver. Hi, Scotland. You know,
hints of wheat fields and crows flowing overhead.
However, but
yes, exactly. Ye understands. Dry cider dehydrates your tongue.
Yeah. This is this is a cracking good cider, though. I'm going to buy more of this. There we go. It's really good, this. I'm going to buy more of this. I got this from the Shaftesbury Town Market. And I shall definitely be buying more of it. I think you boys have had enough. We've only just gotten started, but there's something weirdly cathartic about being deliberately pretentious about describing a cider, but also being kind of serious because you're trying to describe a cider to someone in words. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like, at no point
Bag of cider. Look, it's fine.
At no point do I profess to, you know, being a professional or knowing what good or bad cider is specifically. But, yeah.
I'll donate $50 if you guys drink and review whiskey next time, says Floorlamp. I don't like whiskey.
That would be a complete waste on me because I can't actually taste whiskey.
Yeah.
Like, I have had several. I have had people go to me, we'll try a really good one, see what you get. Nothing. All I taste is burning.
Yeah. I have to. I have also tried what I have been told. You know, I've had someone who I have tried good whiskey, like what has been
I was in Scotland, and the man pulled out the bottle from behind the shelf.
Yeah.
This is the stuff we don't sell.
Yeah. So I've had legitimately good whiskey and been like, I just don't like it, you know. And this is the thing, like this will get me lynched, but I can only say It also underlines my point. I'd rather have a JD, and obviously I'm aware that JD is not real whiskey.
Well, yeah, it's bourbon.
Yeah, but suffice to say, yeah, whiskey is not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was also the case of you know, making sure to actually watering it to taste and so on. It was a case of just there was no watering to taste.
Yeah.
There was just watering until it wasn't tasting of anything because it was just water.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it. I tried this nice whiskey. When I sort of tried a bit of it, I was like, I can tell this is, you know, very good and complex, but it's not my kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my friend said, put some orange juice in it. And legitimately orange juice and whiskey, and I was like, yes, that's all right, you know. However, that made it so I could tolerate it. Yeah. It wasn't a drink that I would pick out, but it made it so I would actually be able to finish the drink and be like, cool, I don't want to wash this down the sink now, kind of thing. Which is not to say that it is bad, but in a sense of I'm not enjoying this straight, you know.
Oh, I can't remember.
Just get hammered is all I'm saying, really. I see, floor lamp. I understand. Look, I am regularly at least merry by the end of the podcast. Is that not enough for you?
You forget floor lamp was saying about this is the first time in 5 days I've been even close to sober.
Floor lamp, what are your opinions of the Bulmer curve? So. Orange juice and whiskey, sacrilege.
Yeah.
Mead is what the cool kids are drinking, and absinthe. I tell you what, actually, I had some really nice mead at New Year's. I was at a New Year's party, and someone had brought along mead, and I tried some of that, and I'm like, God, I could drink this entire bottle.
I can't remember the last time I had mead.
It was borderline sickeningly sweet, but it was certainly to the point I would have. If it weren't for the fact that I bought my own cider and this guy had bought his own mead with intent to drink it, I would have quite happily been like, yeah, I'll just take this bottle and that's me done for the night, you know.
And that's me done in for the night.
Yes, I need to. I think I took a picture of it. Actually, I'm going to see what brand it was, just in case someone goes, "Oh, that's a recognizable brand."
Yeah, I remember that now. The last time I had mead was the last time I went to see my grandmother. It was just a case of, she apparently enjoys a glass of mead and was just like, would you like a glass of mead as well with me? Whilst we sit and watch things. And I was just like, oh yeah, sure thing.
Oh, I think this might have actually just been store brand. But Lime Brewery Christmas mead with festive spices was what I had.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it was really good. I'm also just suddenly remembered of a rhubarb and vanilla vodka liquor that was also there. That was really funny because it was called Tipsy White. And look at the bottle. Yeah, it was a bottle and some companion shot glasses. And the bottle is deliberately made to sit off perpendicular.
It is a cantered bottle and glass combo.
Yeah, which was very funny. So just the whole thing is just slightly sideways, which I was just like, that's really good.
The best continuance from that.
Apparently, it's Tesco Mead. Fair enough. It was very good.
The continuance from that would be if they said that the company was founded in Pisa.
Yes.
I know. The
Ian Scott Johnson says, I'm Scottish, I'll send down a fab single malt from the Highlands. I mean, if you want to donate something, we'll try it. However, I can't guarantee that we'll like it. And I may just be like, that is indeed whiskey and I still don't like it. And it may just sort of sit on the shelf.
looking, suitably upmarket.
Yeah, until like a friend is over and we're just like, would you like a drink from our inexplicable collection of booze that we have in the back of the shop?
I was going to say, to be honest, need to kind of upgrade the wine selection.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I need to arrange them all as well.
Just to cycle them out.
Yeah, I need to just tidy the shelf up and just actually put out.
Can I interest you in a laptop, a graphics card, or some wine?
Yeah, like part of me is just like this display is kind of fallen apart and everything is just piled up back there now. But at the same time, I'm just like booze and graphics cards and motherboards and laptops. I'm just like, I don't know. That's this show. That's what the show is these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
For better or for worse, it has become its own thing. The Copperberg has been there for years. Yeah, it's because I won't drink it. Also,
it's the alcohol free.
Oh yeah,
that was the joke.
Yeah, it's an alcohol-free Copperberg. It's the worst kind of Copperberg.
Oh, it's the 5600 XT.
Oh right. Yes.
Why is there a 5600 XT? Where did that come from? Because it's not mine.
It's one of mine. There's two. There's the 5600 XT. I think that's a known good runner, and somewhere around, I think there's a 6600 XT that is a probably dead card that I need to actually test and confirm that it's dead. I forget.
There's also something there with dual DVI and S video out. I'm presuming it's something like a
that was
HD 4700.
I think you're actually bang on the mark. It was one that Postal bought in one time. And when Postal came to visit, he was just like, oh, it's that graphics card I sent in. And I'm just like, yeah, it's still dead. Sorry. So, yeah. But, yeah. It's almost like we could, build up the GPU test rig and actually plug these cards in and see if they work.
Perhaps. You never know.
We could actually do something on our tech show. You need to start having moments in your show where you spray off a stack of 100 £1 notes to make it seem like you're rich. We need to get the money gun, Someone told Graham to use alcohol to get rid of flux. Yeah, no, that's the wrong kind of alcohol. So the funny thing is, sometimes you get like Sometimes I've been in a voice call with non-tech friends on Discord, and I've been describing my day at work and been like, okay, so I was doing this, so then I cleaned it off with alcohol in order to do X, Y, Z. And they're like, wait, what, alcohol? Like whiskey or something? And I'm like, no, isopropanol, like lab grade ethanol, And they're like, oh, yeah, that's why I was confused. I thought you meant like literal booze. Why would you put that on a circuit board? I'm like, no. But of course they didn't know because they're not, if you, without context, you would wonder.
Excellent. When I used to get paid in a little brown envelope each week with £1 notes in. Oh dear, yes. I remember receiving my pay one time in a stack of £50 notes.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, it's just a case of, okay, I now have, a lot of money just in cash.
Yeah.
In £50 notes, which I can't spend.
Yeah. Yeah. Or in my case, it's a case of, like, sometimes I have to legitimately, like, I'm not saying that cash needs to go away. Cash will always have its place. However, friendly reminder that businesses have to pay to move money around. And like it's very common for people to be like, so I'll pay you cash kind of thing. I'm like, that still costs me money to deposit. It costs me money to put that cash in the bank. So it's sometimes that is not helpful, but that's another thing. But yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, a lot of people. Sleepwalker said 50s are a pain because no one accepts them, and yeah, this is. I don't know why people get so funny about £50 notes.
Because they're usually fake.
Is that
something like 20% of £50 notes in circulation are fake?
Oh, is that empirically a thing? Then?
Something ridiculously high like that.
Yeah, because I'm just like, it's not hard to check. Like
there's a lot of good ones as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's also a case of because obviously. If you get done on a £50 note, you're getting done for a lot more than a £20 note.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I suppose. I think the other thing as well is just like when I deposit money in the bank, they've never ever checked. So
no, because technically They are technically required to not.
Yeah,
in the sense
that's what
of
I thought.
if you are depositing as a private individual, the bank is required to replace it, technically.
Yeah.
And whilst that isn't law and so on, it's a case of kind of, yeah, technically, yeah, they will just replace the fake coinage for a private individual. And that will just get filtered out and swapped out later down in the chain, as far as I understand. But it's also a case of, yeah, technically they don't have to, but it's obviously a case of it's way easier for them to just do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But for businesses, they'll check it, and if you're depositing as a business, they'll deduct it from what you've deposited.
Yeah, that's fair. Most of the time I don't deposit as a business. And then it gets...
Because you get paid in cash by yourself.
Yes, it gets processed into the business, per se. But yeah.
Through services rendered.
Yeah. It's better to take fakes out of circulation and replace them than make it worthless. Yeah, that's probably part of the theory as well. But yeah. And yeah, I don't have a UV light. Actually, I do have a UV light. I don't have a UV light for the purposes of checking for fake notes. I have got a UV check pen, though. But then that much being said, I got to admit, I don't really test notes very at all, because it's really awkward testing notes in front of a customer. But then I think that's one of the reasons why a UV light is really good, because you can have that under the counter. And so just when you go to put the notes away, you can just put it under the light and check it discreetly without having to do the, like, I'm going to check this note right in front of the customer, which is, it seems really rude, but also it's kind of legit because fake notes are a thing, you know. But it's just, yeah, it's not a thing. It's not something that is fun to do.
It's also a case, to a degree, it doesn't overly matter in the UK. Because of the way that sort of fake notes and currency is dealt with. Because it still effectively has value, even if it is fake. As long as you can't be proven to know it was fake, kind of thing, and as long as you can't be proven to have created it, it still effectively has value. Because the banking system has just accepted that as a write-off. So it means that currency obviously maintains better value. Because it was a case of, I can't remember, someone was running the numbers on, I can't remember if it was pound coins. And something like, it was a case of, it was discovered that in the UK, the pound coin fake rate had hit something like 7% or 8%. But no one cared, because the system operated as though all pound coins were real. But it was a case of, by comparison, in, I think it was South Africa or something like that, a currency, one of the units of currency hit a fakery rate of something like 0.75. And everyone stopped taking it. So the currency became functionally worthless at a much lower fakery rate, because the system had decided to stop taking them and stop valuing them. Whereas in the UK, effectively, there we go, 1 in 30 pounds were fake. Whereas effectively, functionally, the system in the UK just accepted that 1 in 30 were fake and just kind of went, so it's still a pound.
It does less damage to absorb that loss than it does to effectively destabilize the currency. Yeah, that's very interesting.
And it's also a case of, obviously, it depends on the situation of the country and the industry and so on in it. And obviously the fact of, because the UK is so heavily into in the financial sectors, it's far easier to just kind of brush it off.
Yeah, that's fair. Having a £100 note is good for when you need an emergency plumber. I mean, the thing as well these days is just like, who doesn't have online banking? And I'd almost go so far as to say, who doesn't have online banking on their phone? You know, when it comes to tradesmen and stuff.
Neither of my parents do.
And that's dumb, I think. It's just like, get it. Because then, you know, if you need to pay someone, you can be like, cool, could I just take your account and sort number and I'll just wire you the cash? Or wire you the money. Sorry.
You know, Or you could email me the invoice that you'll email me anyway, or the bill that you'll email me anyway, and I'll pay it when I get home.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, when it comes to invoicing and stuff like that, there are going to be some tradesmen who are just like, no, I don't want to work on faith because they've been burnt too many times.
Then you don't get my business and I go elsewhere.
Potentially, but that's going to,
literally for me.
Yeah, that's going to depend on.
I will go elsewhere, and someone else will.
That's going to depend on area because not to be classist or anything, but there's certainly going to be certain areas where you can go to where people are not good for it. There's going to be certain people who are just not good for it, unfortunately. Yeah. Card machines do help as well. Yeah, when I was in the market the other week buying this cider. Every stall they had a card machine, a Zettel or a Square or whatever the other ones are. They're all running them because the transaction fees on most of those ones are about 1%, which is.
They come down.
I checked mine; it was 1%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought for some reason or other I thought it was 3%, but I was just completely wrong. It was either 1 or 1.5%. Either way, it was fine. Yeah. And it was a matter of
I was like, you're getting bloody had at 3%.
No. I don't know why I thought it was 3%, but I just had it in my head it was that. But suffice to say though, it's more like 1 or 1.5%, depending on whether you're getting a good deal or not. Yeah. And if you're doing a high volume of transactions, if you're a larger shop and you're cycling a lot of transactions, that doesn't work out to be a good deal. But if you're a small
business, only 1.75,
true.
Which is
however, also if you're a small shop like me and you're only doing a couple of transactions per day, it's fine. Even if I put through like a £300 bill, that's £3 or £3 or £4 for the banking fee on that, and on that £300 bill. I almost certainly have at least £60 of profit embedded into that bill somewhere, because otherwise I'm not doing the job. I'm not getting out of bed for less than £50, because I'm in business to make money. So in which case, a couple of quid as cost of doing business is completely acceptable. So this is the thing, transaction fees as an excuse for not using a card machine just doesn't fly anymore because it really doesn't cost that much. And because they all work off of your mobile phone, these people were in a market. They're on the middle of a street with no power, and they just had their phone and a Zettel machine, and they could accept card payments. So it's just like it's just not a problem anymore. So yeah,
absolutely. But
wait, you're not a charity? Yeah. It's always embarrassing to talk about profits. However, it shouldn't be.
Well, no, absolutely.
We're in business to make. Well, I'm not in business to make money. I'm in business to pay my bills. I guess. I'm in business. I tell you what, actually, just to clarify this, because something that I think about a lot.
This was a conversation we had on like the second or third podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat it because it was a while back now.
3 years ago.
When Lewis Rossman was on the warpath trying to push through right to repair stuff, he was lobbying in some state. I forget which one it was. So he's lobbying, and they're doing the whatever the Congress session or whatever it is, and so the various lobbyists have come to make their case for and against right to repair and things like that. And the argument has come up as to whether this damages the profits of the people making devices, kind of thing, and like does that impact free market, etc., etc. And so one of the senators says to the guy on the stand, says this will impact the profit of the businesses making the devices. You're asking them to make less money, kind of thing. And he said the words he said were, "What is the purpose of a business if not to make money?" And unfortunately, the guy on the stand wasn't really ready for this and didn't have a good response. However, this is the issue with capitalism as a whole, is that it's not enough to make money. The problem with a lot of businesses these days is they have to make all the money. Nothing is ever enough. And this is why my response to that is the purpose of a business is to make enough money, with the proviso of enough being that it is paying the running costs of the business and paying everyone it employs a living wage. and you can add on a couple of other asterisks to that if you want. But yeah, this was a complete side tangent there.
Yeah.
So yeah, making money is not a sin. However, greed is a sin, per se.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about before I completely derailed this? Anyway, yeah. So everyone at the market had a card machine. Card machines are not expensive. Just get one.
Yeah. It was the thing when we started taking card payments again in the office, because we'd not been taking them for a while.
Oh, you've just been doing like
just bank transfers.
Bank transfers only.
Because bank transfers were free for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a case of when we started taking card payments again. This was 2018 or something.
Yeah.
And then it was just a case of, obviously it's been building and building as more and more people do card payments. And it was just a case of like 1 month the bill came through, and it was just like, what do you mean our credit card bill this month is like £1,000 for transactions? And then we ran it through and we're just like, oh, I see. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, it's also worth noting that there are some cards that are astonishingly expensive. There's a reason why no one wants to accept Amex. American Express is like 4% transaction fees on a good machine. American Express is a joke. There's a reason why no shop wants to accept American Express.
It's also a case of, because American Express require you to have a separate merchant ID.
That might be why it's so expensive.
American Express require you to sign up yourself direct with them as a merchant to accept it, whereas for MasterCard and Visa, they're happy for you to sign up as a merchant of WorldPay, a merchant of Barclaycard, a merchant of Opeo, whatever it is, and so on, to sign up as one of those intermediary merchant services and use their services. The same with diners, the same as Discover, the same as what the hell's China Bank, and the other one from China that I always forget the name of. Those card issuers are more than happy for you just to sign up with the intermediary and then allow you to process those cards. Whereas Amex requires you to sign up with Amex as a merchant, and you have to pay them a separate monthly fee and a higher fee on the transaction.
I don't understand how they're still in business. But
well, because obviously they do massive amounts of business not in the UK. Because it's American Express. They do massive amounts of transactions in America because they are the primary credit card company. Interesting little side tidbit for you.
The thought I hadn't actually... Obviously, the clue's in the name. It's American Express. But the thought hadn't occurred to me. Yeah.
The first... interesting little aside for you. The first credit card that was issued by Barclays in the UK.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's one or two other cards that are gotchas as well. I seem to remember that MasterCard Business has a high transaction fee on it as well.
Depends, because it gets complicated with business cards.
Yeah. I know
because
at one point...
there is a category... So there are two categories of business card. There is business card... There are business cards issued in an individual name, and there are business cards issued in a business name.
Yeah.
And the business cards issued in a business name carry the much higher fee.
Okay, yeah.
And then Barclay cards issued in a private individual name carry a slightly higher fee.
That makes sense.
But yeah. At least certainly on our merchant agreement, but also our merchant agreement is lol.
I see. Very well. How long is my regular working day? I mean...
Hours worked?
Firstly, how dare you? Secondly, the shop is open from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. during the week. So, however, what's that, 8 hours? Yeah, it's an 8-hour day, isn't it? Yeah. So, yes. Hours work, I refuse to answer that question.
I do not have an Amex. I refuse to pay a monthly fee for my credit card.
I had an Amex once because I used to bank with Lloyds TSB, and they went through a phase where their card was called the Duo card, where you had a MasterCard. Yeah. MasterCard and an American Express card that was tied to the same account.
Yeah.
And the American Express card had extra perks on it. You could get air miles.
Yeah.
However, no one wanted to accept it, so it was fundamentally useless. You could use it like a Tesco or something like that, I guess.
Barclays offered that as well.
Yeah. So the Duo card was always a bit weird. Obviously, it was American Express desperately trying to get more adoptership in the UK.
Yeah.
But obviously, any small shop worth their salt would just see the blue card come out and be like, no, don't come at me with that.
Ugh.
Well,
Imagine having a
whatever.
blue
Yeah.
Amex.
Okay, fine. The logo's blue. Yeah. Yeah. Apparently apparently gold is also for pretenders. Only black is the flex one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm
not trying product placement here, by the way. I'm just kind of moving into a position where I'm actually going to get the frame PC and start changing the motherboard on it, because we're spending a lot of time talking about credit cards, and while we're having a discussion, I hope people are finding it interesting. But yeah. Anyway, what have you spotted?
I once worked for Barclays. One day I accidentally rebooted all of the Citrix servers for the Russian call center. Yes.
Be careful of the tea.
Be careful of the fan. Boff. But yes, I actually spent a
You're responsible for that now.
Excellent. I spent a reasonable amount of time researching the American Express cards and trying to work out if I could make it worthwhile, and like what level of spending would be required on the card to make it worthwhile. And I was just like, there is no level of spending that I could do on this card that would make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, this is not a product for me.
No. Yeah. I think the only other time like paid for accounts work out is like if you've got some kind of premium bank account, is if it's providing like insurance that is useful. Because like some of the premium bank accounts, you get like free gadget insurance or like free home insurance or something like that. And that can suddenly make it extremely worthwhile. But yeah, I remember I've been upsold on premium bank accounts that have cost me like a $5 a month or something like that. And just like later on down the line, I'm just like, why am I paying this? You know?
Yeah,
the problem is I've often been upsold them at a point when I was in the bank needing an extension. I think the time when I've been upsold on them was when I was in the bank asking for debt consolidation loans and things like that, and they're like, "We'll give you the debt consolidation loan if you sign up for our premium account." And I've been like, "Sure," you know.
But it's also a case of obviously just the fact of, effectively, that's just a cost of the loan.
Yeah, that's how I viewed it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like for me, I was going through and looking at like what just the kind of the premier banking accounts and stuff like that, what the requirements were for that, and just seeing which accounts had effectively the lowest requirements. And a couple of the accounts had hilariously low requirements in the scale of things. And I was just like, interesting. Because you know the paid for like £10 a month bank accounts?
Yeah.
You get that for free if you have Premier Banking.
Oh, I see.
So you can be poor and pay for it, or you can be rich and not pay for it.
I see. Classism. Anyway. This is not a political channel.
And I was just like, interesting. But yeah. I just found it, funny as a concept.
Yeah.
But yes, I think the comment from all of this is somewhat relevant. Is the fact of Chase are trying to expand in the UK, and they're offering 1% cashback on every transaction.
1%, huh? That's not bad. Yeah.
Which obviously is not a lot, but also a case of 1% on every transaction is cashback is 1% that you didn't have.
Yeah. Because also, like, not a lot of, unless I'm mistaken, not a lot of stuff in the UK really offers much cashback. That's not really a like in the US, you often buy products where they say it's this price but with X amount cashback kind of thing. I'm like, why don't you just deduct that from the price? I don't get it, because that's just not a thing in the UK.
Right. The reason why they do that is because they have run the numbers on the number of people who actually claim the cashback. And the number of people who actually claim the cashback is functionally zero. Because the process is explicitly set up, obviously, to be
annoying,
fractionally annoying, because you have to post something to someone or something like that. You
sure.
have to send them a photo of a receipt in some fashion or something
Yeah.
like that. So it's just a case of, obviously, it is fractionally annoying, and that friction is sufficient for people to not.
That makes sense, yeah.
Bother. Which then means, obviously, they can sell the product at a higher price, but they can advertise at the lower price.
Yeah.
Because the cashback offer exists. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Somewhat. There was a Rurutu said earlier on, do you use an RFID card blocker? I don't care. So my opinion on this, firstly, I don't actually carry cards anymore. I've literally just stopped. After we had this conversation in a recent podcast where you said, "Oh, I don't carry a wallet," and after that podcast, the next morning, when I would normally pick up my M.2 case of cards, I was just like, and left without it, and I just haven't carried it with me since, except for the days when I'm actually going to the bank and I will need my bank card. So yeah, I now no longer I just don't carry a card with me anymore. Yeah. My previous opinion of it was I don't use an RFID card blocker. However, if I were in a city or if I were traveling in a city, I probably would. If I were going somewhere where I expect to see crowds, like the London Underground or something.
It's also a case of I just don't care.
I mean, I don't know if it's actually
not my money.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I
don't care because it's not my money.
I don't know if card fraud by skimming is actually a real problem anymore.
I mean, it is, sure, but it's also a case of it's not my money.
Yeah, well, do you say that as in the banks will just automatically refund you?
I just go, this is fraud.
Yeah.
They go, oh, okay. 24 hours later, the money's in my account.
Yeah.
So it's a case of kind of, but also a case of, obviously, I literally don't carry cards, and it's impossible to steal from my mobile phone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
The only thing I do think is the fact if I need to work out a convenient way of carrying my driver's license or some other photo ID.
Yeah.
Just because it's a case of, obviously, if I have some form of photo ID, I can walk into a branch of a bank and do all of my banking without a physical card.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like on the off chance that you get carded when going into a nightclub or buying booze from a shop or something like that.
Yeah, I got carded twice last year for alcohol and was refused a sale.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
and
I'm 31.
Yeah.
And the person was just like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, I'm older than you are.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a dress shirt, dress shoes. Sure, I'm wearing jeans.
Yeah.
I am somewhat bearded.
Yeah. This is the problem. It's just like, but the issue is as soon as they issue the challenge legally has to be met.
Yeah.
Because they can't rescind the challenge. And it's a case of, you fucked up. But that doesn't change the fact that now they've issued the challenge. You're just like, do I look like I'm 12? But at the same time, I don't have my ID and I can't prove I'm not 12.
Yeah.
Because, I've had, and like, because, it's just, it's one of those just annoying things about the way the law works. So, yes, I agree. Having some kind of mechanic to deal with that would be very agreeable.
Absolutely. So obviously that's just kind of my only point with that. It's just like, oh yeah, some way of carrying photo ID, but yeah.
The problem with skimming is when your card gets blocked. So
I get a new card the next day.
Yeah, however, but hypothetically, let's say you're on a day trip into London, and your card gets blocked on your way into London, and suddenly your card doesn't work.
Then I go to Monzo and go, issue me a new card number, and they go, oh, here's your new card number, and I make transactions again.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
because I bank with someone who actually has customer service.
Yeah, I guess.
If that makes sense. I realise I'm being like the 1% here.
I was going to say, you got an answer for everything, but also it does actually demonstrate that there is actually valid solutions to these problems.
It's also a case of have two cards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing as well. Like,
as well, it's a case of
well, it's kind of like
I specifically signed up for the bank account I have with Lloyd's because Lloyd's were the first bank that I knew of that actually supported Android Pay.
Yeah.
So I signed up for a debit card and a credit card specifically so I had it on Android Pay. And then I found out about Monzo and Monzo supporting Android Pay, and I signed up for that as well.
Yeah.
And it's just a case of, it's like, so I've got several different cards all saved on my phone, and also a case of the fact of just, I'm sure I can come up with a solution as well by going into a branch. Because it's a case of, I can be like, here is the mobile banking app for me.
Yeah.
You know, here are my account details. Please may you give me money from this. I can give you a one-time code, that would allow me to sign into online banking, you know, and transfer this money around. I can transfer my money into a different bank account. Therefore, you should be able to give me this as cash kind of comment. You know, if that makes sense. If I can take the money out of my own account and put it into another account, you should be able to give this to me as cash kind of thing. Yeah, if that makes sense. If I can verify all of these stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously
Side
a case
note,
of...
Do you think I can call a 3950X with a Hyper 411?
Maybe. I was thinking that you should probably disable hyperthreading on it, or SMT, sorry.
Elaborate.
Just because you don't need 32 cores for gaming benchmarks. And
actually, do I have that 3700X over here? There's a 30... Yes, I do. I can't remember where this CPU came from, but I know it's mine. That's all I know.
I know that it is in my hands.
Yes. Same as this cooler, quite frankly, because actually I think you through complex arrangements, you paid for this cooler.
Yes, I did, because I literally bought it from Scan.
No, you bought a different one, which I used which I used in a customer computer and sold, and then bought another one and said, I've replaced the cooler that you bought that I sold.
I see. Because I bought...
So no, this is not your cooler, but it also it's a cooler that I owe you.
Because I bought a 411 and a 412.
Yeah. I will take this. Yeah. I had it in my head that this was a 5950X because I was I had a dream that this was a 5950X and I was going to put it in my PC at home instead, and I was deliberating whether I wanted a 5800X for better gaming performance or a 5950X for better all-core performance.
The 5950X will give you better gaming performance.
Does it? Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, like by 2%.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
But
not enough to warrant its price tag, but technically yes.
Yeah, certainly not for a gaming-only PC, but it's a case of, the 5950X have better bin CCDs, so you do get higher boost out of it. Because like my 5950X will float at 5.5.
Really? Damn.
Yeah. Sorry, 5.05, as in 50 megahertz.
5 gigahertz is still impressive for a 5000 series CPU.
But yeah, it will float at that, and if you tune it, you can get it to float around 5.1.
Yeah. Can you get a 4090 for under 500 GBP? Absolutely not.
No.
No. I mean, second-hand cost on those has still got to be, what, 1200? 70? Really? Second-hand?
Well, yeah, because they're out of stock new.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely not. A 3090 around £500.
Yeah.
That's doable.
Yeah. I need to see what state this is in.
Yeah.
So I can't remember what I actually did to it. It's possibly entirely in Dutch. Other than Surface, because I believe Surface is Surface in Dutch.
I'm not sure if you're joking or not.
As in, I believe that Surface, the brand from Microsoft, is still Surface.
I was going to say Surface as a brand, yes. However, have we got any Dutchies in the chat who can confirm what Surface is in Dutch?
Oh, I am confused. I am confusion. What is the status of this device? Why is it in English, but with this on this? Huh.
I see.
Interesting. I also have a document called new document.
Aha. Johan, sorry if I'm butchering your name, says Surface is opovlakte.
Opovolacti?
Opovolacti.
I guess that's fractionally better than opovolactate. Oh, God. Okay.
Steve Higgins says surface. No, I'm fairly certain that's not it, but I appreciate that joke, though.
Would you like a smoke and a pancake? A crap and a...
You tried.
Oh, what was it? A blintz and a waffle? Anyway.
Right. A CPU cooler. I owe you another Hyper 11, 411. 3080 is still 650 in CEX. Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. CEX is a bad time. Every now and then someone says, oh, I got something from CEX for this price. I'm just like, that's actually a good price. But whenever I look at CEX, they are wanting ridiculous money. And I'm just like, no, you're dreaming. Get out of here.
I remember when I went to CEX and got a good price on GTX 580s.
Did it work?
Yeah, I got 3 of them. They all worked. And I got 3 of them for 80 quid, I think.
Damn. That's fair. Does anyone use a 4070 Ti with VR?
I mean, I'd expect it to work absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Given the 4070 Ti is...
Yeah, apparently it doesn't work with VR. What? Elaborate, Whizbits. What's the reasoning behind that? I'm curious, because like I run
an RX 580 will run VR.
Well, it depends what you're playing and whether you want a good user experience. Because,
yeah,
for example,
will run it, as in the sense of functions.
Oh yeah, but like it says not great for VR, implying you want a good user experience. Yeah.
Sorry, I only heard you say it does not work.
Because like I've got a 3080 Ti, but because I'm running a Reverb, which is effectively a 4K screen, running VR chat rags my graphics card.
Yeah, VR chat appears to be shockingly heavy.
Yeah, VR chat's savages, but one of the main problems with that is that everyone's running around with poorly optimized avatars, which is of great annoyance to me. But it's difficult to start that conversation with people of saying, because people are being like, oh yeah, I got this new shader, look how good this looks. I'm like, that looks very good, but also your avatar is rated very poor. And the very poor rating is basically there is excellent, good, medium, poor, and then very poor is everything beyond that. So very poor basically means you are so far off the chart that we have no more measurements for this, and that means you are the reason why VR chat runs like crap on most people's computers. Please optimize your goddamn avatars. So yeah, but at any rate, yeah, VR is pretty intensive. But again, a 3080 Ti, most things that are not VR chat, I have a reasonably good time with. So a 4070 Ti, that should be at least providing a better experience. So I'd expect it to be better than that. I'm curious. Are Chromebooks viable for business workflow? I don't think so.
Yeah, we use Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 4 of them. I
mean, I guess they're good for management, but
we use them for everything.
The problem is, okay, because like my opinion of that is by the time you bought a Chromebook that's actually, good, you could have just bought a regular laptop and had full-blown Windows.
Yeah, I guess, but that also doesn't give me anything. Because everything we do is in Google Docs or in a website. So
perhaps not so much it doesn't give me anything, more fact of I'm not losing anything by using a Chromebook and having that.
Well, yeah, but having Windows doesn't give me anything.
Yeah.
Either. Both perspectives are accurate statements.
That's fair.
Obviously, working from the statement of a Chromebook, having Windows on them doesn't give me anything.
Yeah.
And like for other stuff as well, Citrix has an HTML5 client, and obviously you can run your Citrix stuff inside that.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Wizbit says, read a few posts that say it's not great for VR, not sure why, but looks to be the one in my budget has been waiting 3 years to upgrade and don't want to wait longer. Yeah, I mean, what have you got? Oh yeah, you said you got a 1060 and yeah, the 1060 is definitely on its last legs. I mean, it depends what kind of games you want to play, because in my opinion, you've kind of got two choices right now for what you're looking at. I think a 4070 Ti is going to do you just fine. I can't see a reason why that would have a problem with VR. But the other thing to consider is that if you're doing VR heavy stuff, one of the biggest problems with VR is that you're running high resolutions, or you're running high resolution textures. And so to that extent, I would consider like a secondhand 3090 or something like that, because then you get the 24 gigs of VRAM. And obviously that's really good to have when you're running high resolution. So my consideration would be if you're hell bent on buying something brand new, I think a 4070 Ti is probably going to be fine. But also, if you were to get like a secondhand 3090, that's going to cost you a very similar price, if not cheaper, and give you the 24 gigs of VRAM, which will help you in VR. But that's my 2 pence without having done any major research on it, you know. That's what I need. I'm very slowly going to fit this CPU cooler to here, so, you know.
Oh.
The cheap ones are short-lived. Yeah. There's a... what was I saw somewhere recently... I was reading a thing about Chromebooks and the fact that a lot of the cheap ones are manufactured e-waste almost, but on the flip side, a lot of the schools have so many spare ones.
Is this MagSafe 1 or 2?
That's 2. So yes.
Which won't work with that then, will it? So that's a 2012.
2. Yeah, that's MagSafe 2.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just because the charger that came with this is still the sidebar, not the T-bar, and I thought that was the differentiator.
T and L is nothing to do with it being 1 or 2.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, okay.
That much? No, all of the MagSafe 2 connectors are T. There is no... and so the only thing I can think of is if you have a MagSafe 1 with a MagSafe 2 adapter attached to it. Because there is no L-shaped MagSafe 2.
I didn't buy it, so I have no idea what's gone on.
Unless you got some funky third-party thing that just is a good knockoff or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just saying, yeah, the cheap Google Chrome, the cheap Chromebooks, they're arguably manufactured e-waste, but also because the schools have got so many of them now, they've just got a crap ton of spare parts. So for all of the piles of dead ones they've got, they can just keep fixing the working ones with all of the spares from the dead ones.
It's also a case of the Chrome ones are... The Chromebooks obviously require way lower specs to be a good user experience.
This is true.
Like the dual-core Celerons with 4 gigs of RAM are a good user experience on a Chromebook.
Yeah, that's fair.
The only consideration is whether the screen is any good.
Yeah, I think my issue as well is that the cheap ones as well, they're just cheaply built, so like the power connectors break easily and stuff like that. And like part of this...
Oh, really? I've only ever seen them be Type-C.
Well,
I've only seen Type-C Chromebooks.
Oh yeah, no, there's plenty of DC input ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah,
However, also though, them being Type-C doesn't make them immune to failure, because there's a lot of really cheap and nasty Type-C connectors that break too easily as well. Which is one of the things, you know, we kind of hoped the Type-C would be the savior of everyone, but the issue is that just like what happened with Micro B by design wasn't a bad connector. However, China min-maxed and found the cheapest possible Micro B connectors that they could possibly make, and surprise, surprise, they break easily. And the same thing is happening with Type-C. Type-C is not inherently a bad connector. However, in the quest of making the cheapest possible Type-C connectors, we are still ending up with bad connectors, not by design, but by the fact of the manufacturing quality and so on. So, you know, has Caradog got a picture of Tim Cook as his background on the MacBook? Are you a Tim Cook shill?
No, I don't even particularly like Apple. It's just because I got it for free by stealing it.
Yeah. Rolling back a little bit, Whizbits say can't play F122 in VR. Alex, Half-Life, etc. Currently, hoping the 4070 Ti would give reasonable FPS. Well, I mean, the fact that you're on a 2060 at the the fact that you're on a 1060 at the moment, going up to a 4070 Ti or a 3090 or anything of that kind of level is going to change your world. The 1060 has been a fantastic graphics card, but it will get demolished by literally anything else by modern standards. You know, like, if you come up, any modern graphics card will literally annihilate a 1060.
Oh, yeah.
I love the 1060 to bits, but it's obsolete.
Where's F1
you know?
in here? Oh, hold on. Actually,
like I say, the 1060 has been a graphics card that has aged incredibly well, but it doesn't stop it from being 8 years old, which is a horrifying thought, you know. Got an old PC I'm thinking of selling after I built a new one. But can't be bothered with the selling process in case I become someone else's IT helpline. It stopped working, etc. Well, you don't have to provide support. You sell it and you say, yeah, it's not provided with warranty kind of thing. It's a second-hand computer.
Oh, yeah. I can kind of see how the statement of the 4070 Ti being not great for F122 in VR would hold up. Just because it's 4K ultra quality with RT on, it's only doing 52 FPS.
Damn.
But that is also 4K ultra quality with RT on.
Yeah, that's a bloody tall order, you know.
Because by comparison, the 4090 is only at 88 FPS.
That's it. You need a 4080 to break the 60 FPS mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're asking for that's asking for too much, you know.
Oh no, that's Cyberpunk. Hold on. Where's the 1440p results?
3 gigs of VRAM must really hurt these days. I think the only people still running.
Oh my god.
I think the only people still running 1060s probably have the 6 gig version. If you've got if you have a 3 gig 1060, you probably have moved on by now.
I completely forgot that was a 3 gig 1060.
Yeah, I have to admit, I sold a couple of 3 gig 1060s back in the day and said you'll be fine, kind of thing.
Thankfully, they will be. It's 8 years later.
I was going to say, thankfully, I think it is sufficiently long enough ago that I don't need to feel bad about that. But certainly the 1060 6 gig did last significantly longer. It is worth noting. But then also it was like another 50 quid back in the day. And this was at the time when 1060s were like £240. Because that was the reason why the 1060 is so prolific. Because my God, it was good bang for buck.
Yeah.
It was a lot of horsepower for your money. So yeah. Mm-hmm. 1060 is doable for esports. Yeah, absolutely. For esport, you know, 1080p, 60 hertz.
Integrated graphics is fine for esports.
Yeah. However, if you're doing VR, you're going to be running the equivalent of 1440p or 4K equivalent resolutions, and you're looking for a minimum of 90 FPS for most modern headsets. If you're running a higher end headset, you're going to be looking for 120 or 144 hertz. So, and like when you get into the 4K area, breaking the 100 hertz mark is a tall order, you know. Although interestingly, I was on VR chat last night, and I was in a difficult room with a lot of poorly optimized avatars, and we were having a conversation where I was just like, oh, I'm having trouble staying above 45 FPS. And I was like, but I don't understand. Like the VR chat is telling me that my frame rate is 45 FPS, and like now and then it bounces up to 90. But like if this was 45 FPS, I don't understand how this screen could be at 45 FPS and me not notice. And it turns out that VR actually does incredibly good frame interpolation, where it does frame interpolation when you're struggling for frame rate. So you don't get, when you're looking around, you're seeing a a faked 90 FPS, but like when they said try waving your hand in front of your face, and I did that, and my hand was, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
like
because
the motion of my head was 90 hertz.
Yeah, because
but the actual render wasn't. It was really weird.
I've forgotten what it's called. Yeah, but it's a projection method.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was, and I'd never realised that it did that, and I was like, that's really clever. Yeah. That's a really clever way to do graceful degradation kind of thing.
But just a demonstration for the performance difference in F122 with RT on and off.
Yeah.
RT on 100 FPS, RT off 257 FPS.
Oh wow, yeah. So the ray tracing is really expensive then.
So it's just a case of, obviously, if you're trying to do VR with ray tracing on, don't.
Yes.
Because also just a case of kind of in F122 the ray tracing is not an impressive implementation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't bother.
Very well. Where are these? There are the screws. There are 5 GB 1060s. Yeah, that's the weird. Is that the weird Asian market one?
That was the China only one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the weird 5 GB. I'm curious as to whether the 5 GB 1060s have the extra cores on, or the what's it called on an NVIDIA card? Shader compute units, shader units.
I think the 5 gig ones were purely memory.
Yeah, because the 1060,
the actual core was the same.
Yeah, because the important bit is the 1060 had additional shader units as well. It wasn't just memory. That was,
between the 3 and the 6 gig.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I see.
So I'm curious.
Really?
So I'm curious as to whether the 5 gig version has the height.
As far as I'm aware, it's got the 6 gig core.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Extra CUDA cores.
You mean the SM? Oh, you're talking about the SMs.
Shader modules.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
right.
sure,
That's what you're referring to. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave Walden says, running a 1660 Super does me fine and no VR in this house. Yeah, that's still valid. Yeah, the 1660 Super, that's like 1070 equivalent, I think. No, probably possibly a bit higher than that. Yeah. Still fine. Ray tracing is not even close to being worth spending the money to have it. That's kind of been my opinion of it so far. I haven't had a lot of experience with ray tracing, but there's not been, I've had it's kind of like, this is not a good example. However, when I played Portal RTX, that was obviously, and also Quake 2 RTX, those were both fully ray traced games.
They were full path tracing games.
Yeah, full path tracing. And I looked at those, I'm like, this is good, this is impressive, but it is ludicrously expensive to render, and a rasterized game wouldn't look much meaningfully worse than this, a modern rasterized game.
Depends what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because certain parts of it, no, it would look worse, and some parts of it literally just wouldn't exist.
I guess, yeah.
So it's a case of, it depends. But it's also the case of, do you remember when, coloured lighting was new in games and that affected performance? We've been here before.
I guess, yeah.
Do you remember when having more than 7 polygons to a character model was a thing in games and that affected performance?
Yeah.
We've been here before.
I guess, but not to the expense that ray tracing is, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, the bottom half is the important half.
I'll do, right? Yeah.
Is that the one?
Okay.
Is that the one where you accidentally cut the nozzle?
Yes, I didn't cut the nozzle. I dropped it and it landed on the nozzle and broke the nozzle.
Oh, I see.
So yes, that's why I just kind of with it now. Minecraft Ray Trace looks pretty stunning. I need to try that out. The annoying thing is that Minecraft RTX, you have to play on certain worlds. The worlds are pre-baked, which is really annoying.
You don't have to. there are pre-made worlds for it, or you can create a world in RT.
Okay, yeah, but you can't.
You
can't use an existing world in RT, which is annoying.
No, because obviously it's a new world, effectively.
Yeah.
Any of the, as far as I'm aware, any of the worlds that were made after RT was added to Minecraft, you can play with RT on.
Oh, interesting.
As far as I'm aware, you just can't obviously play with a map that doesn't include the things that didn't exist. Kind of thing. As far as my understanding went from when I looked at it ages ago.
Shit.
But also a case of I did just only look at the default world and just kind of go, that's a good implementation.
Yeah. I'll need to lean this back or have a third hand in a moment.
Pair of hands. Attachments. What?
1, 2, 3. There's one more of these things that's fallen.
Oh my god.
No, you.
Oh my god.
Can't take me anywhere. I'm missing one of the things.
So you've got one in the frame. So you've got one in the back panel.
There's 3 here. Where's the one in the back panel you're saying?
Oh, as in you had one in the thing that was in your hand.
Yeah. This is not complicated and it's getting difficult. Everything is difficult, Caradog.
You have a tendency of that.
Oh, I found it. There we go. All right, there we go. Right. Can you do me a favor and hold this like here? Thanks. One. 2. You may release. Oh, you may not release. I was pretty certain that I'd picked up. That was a big sigh from you. I'm sorry. Okay, that's definitely picked up. You may release.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, guys, these people are the pros. Being professional just means you get paid to do it. It doesn't mean you're actually good. Is that a fair statement?
It just means you convince people to give you money.
Yes. Rolling back a bit, White Bear says the 5 gig 1060 is identical to the 6 gig. Yeah. I wonder, I don't know. The 5 gig 1060 is such a weird one. Like, why do they not just make it a 1060 then? You know, there must have been some kind of weird binning process that made it viable for the 5 gig to exist.
Well, I just put less RAM on it. Which then makes it cheaper.
I guess. Yeah. I guess if you're min-maxing and you're mass producing, then putting one fewer chips on it, you know.
So apparently it was, you know, for the internet cafe market.
Yeah. Minecraft server when? It's not far away. The thing exists for it now. You know the P200 build. I decided to use that as the server in the end. The only thing holding us up is I need to reinstall Windows on it because it's got Windows 10 Home at the moment. It is running another Minecraft server, but I need to reinstall Windows on it because it's got Win 10 Home, and I want to put Pro on there because then I can run Hypervisor and I can virtualize the service that it's running. Then also I need to plumb Ethernet around the shop so I can actually put it in the shop window with an Ethernet cable going into it, because there's no Ethernet going anywhere near the window at the moment.
Isn't it an i5?
It is, yeah. So I don't know how well virtualization is going to work.
It's a 4th gen i5, isn't it?
Yeah. But
I would just put one of the i7s we've got in it.
Have we got a 4th gen? Oh yeah, we have, haven't we? Yeah.
May I introduce you to the box?
Yes. Point taken. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think of that now.
But yeah,
I will not be taking any criticism on this lack of decision.
Also a case of, isn't there an i7 in this board? in the Gigabyte board that you just took off of there?
Probably, because that was going to be the server. And yeah, however, I don't know. I just, I'm not decided, because part of me was just like, maybe I will keep the P200. But then also the P200, it will be better to sell because the case is in good condition. Whereas the 220T, the USB ports on it are knackered.
Just sell it. Just sell the P200.
Yeah, okay. You've changed my mind, I will.
Sell the P200.
Fan area pump, yeah.
Stick that in the 220T.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the plan, is to put that in the 220T and the 220T be the server. However, then the P200 got built and I was like, well, actually, maybe I'll keep this.
Just sell it. You don't need it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So
put in the 4770K. Yeah, I think I would.
Because you need to sell the computers you've got on that bench anyway.
Yes, this is true. Yeah. Right, before we continue, I'm going to use the bathroom super quick.
Fair enough.
I will return.
I will remove my microphone.
Are you starting to do what I refuse to?
Yes.
Yes, very well.
Sometimes the easiest way to make a decision is to not give people a decision.
You're my carrot. You're my carrot.
Yes!
You're my Teltac.
Yeah. Come off. There we go. I will put this piece of glass on this chair. There is no way any of this could possibly go wrong. Oh good, there is already a power supply in this case. Cables. Noodles. Also, hello chat. Running a Minecraft server on a Q6600 for such a long time. Yes. Things, stuff, good. Is this actually integrated? No, it's just stuck on there. The clever use of paper washers. Cleverly, paper washers have been applied to the VGA and the DVI that then keeps the detachable I/O shield from being detachable. Thus, it has become an integrated I/O shield. Whoop. In you go. Feed you around everything. So many fans. So many RGBs.
Yes, good RGB.
No, the rugby. Ugh.
Noises of strenuousness.
Ugh. Usness.
Yes.
Yes. Quite so.
Put that in there for now.
I'm loath to admit it.
But I've been had. What the hell is this? What is this?
What are those?
Yeah, I've just got some Corsair. Oh, that's the dead Corsair RGB RAM, apparently.
Possibly.
I don't know. Yeah.
We need to actually double check it.
Let's find out. We'll put this in there.
Because it's probably dead, but it also might not be. Also,
possibly the last time we were testing this might have been in my PC, and my PC has been an unreliable source for a while now.
Your PC has been broken for the longest of times.
Oh, fun fact, I was positive it was fixed, and the other day I got my blue screens again.
Have you considered upgrading your motherboard?
The behaviour changed when I changed around the power supply.
Have you considered upgrading your motherboard?
It doesn't feel like the motherboard. However, what I do... Yeah.
However, what I do need to do is know that I actually have one that works in the first place.
It's still to do with the graphics card power loading. I'm convinced it's power delivery to the graphics card. What I do need to do, I'm loath to admit it, but Night Fusion might have been right. It might be the braided extension to my graphics card.
I thought you swapped that out.
No, I never did. I changed the leads connecting to that
I thought you
thing.
said you...
I intended to, but I never did. However, I'm now going to do... I was changing one thing at a time. However, I'm now going to change that. And if night fusion is correct, then
I will never admit it.
If night fusion is right, then I will immediately move to Nepal to live as a goat. So yeah. Love you, night fusion, but I don't know if I can bear the emotional weight of you saying I told you so. So.
I hecked up. Get out of there. Thank you. Why does this computer smell like a smoker?
It shouldn't. May I sniff? It does kind of. It's just a dust smell. Do you have a problem, sir? I'm going to pour some more cider for myself. Oh, I think we're out. I might need your help. Oh, there's actually a fair bit left in there. Oh God, okay, that's enough. I didn't want an entire pint. I didn't think there was that much left in there, but yeah. Oh my God. Julie's like, may I sniff, milady? You somehow made it worse. You somehow made it worse. Hello, Mr. Simark. How's it going? What's the Corsair? You was away for a bit. This is the 220T that's been kicking around the shop for a while. This is the one that was going to be the server, and then I was like, oh, actually, I'll make the P200 that we were working on the other week the server. And now everyone has convinced me to make this the server. So Caradog is building the server because I refused to build the server. So now we're working on two things. This is basically what we last week when I was just like, I still have parts, so I will make more PCs. This is what I was supposed to be doing last week and then didn't. 5:30 and Graham is pissed. Muerto.
Join us.
Join us, yes.
Become the problem.
Yeah. Do you have a car? You can drive north for approximately 40 minutes and you too can partake in this.
You can be a problem too.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on.
Don't touch my RGB, bro. It's fine as it is.
What? That's nothing to do with the RGB. It's the front panel connector. I'm making it so it actually reaches the connector.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Unless you want to have the only way of turning the board on be stabbing a screwdriver.
Raise a pint and toast the king. Absolutely not. Moving swiftly on. I'm hoping I won't have to deal with that tomorrow. I'm seeing family tomorrow for a coronation party, and I'm very much hoping that that is more a sense of an excuse for a family get-together rather than actually having to toast the king. So yes. Anyway.
Permanent heating solutions.
Permanent heat? What?
Don't worry.
I see.
I will tell you when we are not live.
I can imagine, and the fact that you don't want to tell me while we're live. I'm just going to leave that one right. Moving swiftly on. Yeah.
God saved.
Oh no. I feel like we have to say it, and like it was in chat.
No.
Okay. Okay.
You get nothing.
Yep, very well, very well. Only people who were here before the show started might know what we could be talking about. No. Je refuse. Right. I've got CPU power, I've got ATX, I've got RAM, I've got a CPU. I need a graphics card. I'll put in the 1060 just so we've got something. Did you? There it is.
Yes, I did.
Hup. I love this EVGA 1060 so much. This is such a good testing card. It's compact, it's easy to run, and it has enough horsepower to actually be a measure of functionality kind of thing. Are there any thumb screws over there that I can steal?
There are 2 generic-y ones, yep.
These are no good. I need a metric thumb screw. There is a long thumb screw that's supposed to go with that build, but I don't know where it's disappeared to, so I will find another one. I'm going to have to go to the thumb screwery.
As you're going into the screws, can I have some screws to put this motherboard in? Oh, actually, these might work.
I see.
Let us see.
Where are my thumb screw tray?
Where are my thumb screws?
You tried to mock me and then you also screwed it up. I heard that.
No, I just said, where are my thumb screws?
Oh, okay. It sounded like you sort of, where are my thumb screws?
Where are my thumb screws? Why are they gone?
All right.
Come to me.
Oh, I just saw it. There it is. Right.
This has 2 screws in it, which is more than mine.
Inserts Katsun gif. Good, Moyato, good.
Katsun? Oh, cat. Soon. Not Katsun.
Katsune is what you mean. Can't today, but soon. Yep, that's fair.
What is a katsune? I do not know. I'm not educated in these ways.
Well, if it's a Japanese word that's ending in S-U-N-E, that's not soon, that's sune. So, like, the actual thing would be kitsune, which is a multiple-tailed fox.
Oh, I see.
So, I guess you could have a katsune, which is probably a butchered version of that word in order to imply a multi-tailed cat.
I see.
However, I don't know if there is any such lore for a mythical creature as such.
I see.
Like a dog dragon thing.
A dog dragon thing? What?
Cat o' nine tails.
Hold on a minute, that's entirely different.
I was going to say, I think we're mixing a lot of things up, but I'm not certain.
I mean, I'll happily... never mind, moving on.
There are multi-tailed cats in Japanese folklore. Oh, there you go then. Has the shop been busy? Anything interesting in the pipeline? So the answer, it's always busy, yes, and there's a couple of interesting things in the pipeline. There's been no video this week because I was legitimately going to do the Andon Star microscope video. However, while I was editing and I was like, I hate this footage. I'm going to reshoot this entire thing, and then stopped editing the video. And I didn't really have anything else suitable lined up. However, yesterday I recorded two solidly generic videos. One of them was that sound card that we were looking at the start of the stream. And the other one was just a MacBook Pro refurb, which is technically an assembly job, but you know, we replace some parts of it, we clean it all up, and it looks nicer as a result. So those two are in the pipeline. I've done most of the recording for a power supply diagnostics video today, which was more how to approach a computer that won't power on and probably has a bad power supply. It's fairly basic in terms of troubleshooting level, but it does demonstrate just a stone dead power supply, so just how to confirm that you have a stone dead power supply, and also the other power supply I was hoping would be more interesting, but spoiler alerts, it shows that a bad fan is a real thing on a power supply, and is not uncommon either. So yeah, that's going to require a bit more footage to be recorded, but it's on the way. So yeah, that's it. The other thing as well that I've been thinking about this week is the behind the scenes videos that I still haven't released. I need to start putting those out. But I didn't want to release that as a stopgap measure because I haven't done anything else this week, even though I don't see why that would be a problem. So yeah, I think I just want to put out I think I want to put out 1 or 2 bangers and then just get that done. The other thing that's in the pipeline as well is Insta360 got in touch. Insta360 were just like, hey, we really liked your video on the Insta360 link, because it's a new product of ours and we're pushing it really hard at the moment. Do you want to look at some other stuff? And so Insta360 have sent me a second link. So I have 2 of them now, which means both the face cam and the bench cam are now Insta360 links, which we'll talk about more in a moment, but whatever. And they also sent me this, which is the Insta360 Flow, and this is a mobile phone selfie stick gimbal jobby. So I'm going to be doing a review of one of these, which should be cool because it means that when I've got a desktop computer that I want to do some hero shots for, I'll have an actual proper steady cam now, instead of me just holding my mobile phone as steady as I can. So yeah, sounds like a pre-sponsorship. Don't think it's going to get that far. However, they have sent me, this kit isn't cheap, so make of that what you will. But yeah, but I am very happy that they've sent me another link, because I basically said to them, you know, look, people ask me what camera I use, you send me another link and I can say all of my cameras are Insta360 links. And they said, yes, we'll do that then. So yeah, because the Insta360 link is legitimately very good. The only problem is that my footage gets butchered by YouTube. Caradog and I were actually having a conversation before we went live, where Caradog was just like, I'm not going to lie, I can't tell the difference. And I said, that's because you're seeing it on YouTube. When it's in editing, you can see the difference night and day, but YouTube butchers everything. So, Sag. I think Techmoan did a review on something like that selfie stick some years ago. Yeah, this is not there's many other products like this one. That particular one, the Insta360 Flow, is like brand spanking new. The main difference is that Insta360 are really pushing their AI stuff at the moment, because AI is the hot word. However, the idea is that it's not just face detection, it's smart AI detection of subject. So like having a camera that can detect a face and lock onto a face is nothing new, but the Insta360 stuff can recognize an object in the picture. So if I'm doing a hero shot of a desktop PC, it can lock onto the PC as the subject. Or if you're on their website, in their marketing stuff, they've got a shot where it's like someone's driving past a building in a car. You know, they're driving past a big church or something like that, and you can hold up your phone on the selfie stick and tap on the building, and it will recognize the building as the subject that you're trying to track, and it will track the building as a stable shot. And that's what face detection can't do. You know, face detection is looking for eyes, nose, and mouth, whereas the Insta360 AI stuff can recognize objects as such, which is kind of different. And that's also very interesting for me, because when I'm doing B-roll footage with this selfie stick, I'm not taking pictures of people. So, yeah. Francis says, have I called BT? No. Next question. I very much need to. You'd love to see some bloopers, funny fuck-ups video? Maybe not educational, but defo entertaining. Yeah, I keep meaning to do that. Most of my bloopers, I need to try and make my bloopers a bit more entertaining, because you do actually have to do that. That's the thing you have to actively do. Because for me, when I screw up a line, what I usually do is I'll talk and I'll be like, and then I'll just trail off and stop talking and be like, no, retake all of that. Or I'll fumble a word and be like, yeah, you know, and it's not funny. Whereas if I were someone like Technology Connections, I will have practiced the art of when I flub a line, of going and flubbing the line and then flubbing it deliberately and being like, no, that's not what I meant to say, kind of thing. Like, that's a deliberate thing you do. Or at the very least, you have practiced it to the extent where it's automatic instead of, you know, me. But my cock-ups aren't particularly interesting at the moment. It wouldn't be too difficult to do, though. You know, just table flip. Yeah. And yeah, it's more than just stabilization, correct? Yeah. Oh, I'm doing things, getting electrocuted and stuff. Yeah, there's nothing particularly entertaining there, to be honest. If anything super good actually happens, it'll be in the video. because people love that stuff. That's content, man. So yeah, how to lubricate a GPU fan when you can't get into it. Get into it, basically. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there comes a time where it's a case of, yeah, you're going to have to take that boy apart. Love to see Carrot Dog and Graham out in the real world. Maybe. I could certainly come up with IRL content. I just don't know if it's something that people are interested in. That's second channel stuff, though. Carrot Dog often reminds me of we have the second channel, because a lot of stuff there's a lot of content ideas that I dismiss as that's not on brand. That's not what people are here for. To which Carrot Dog replies, that's what the second channel is for. And I'm like, fair point. So, Adamant IT on tour, indeed. One thing that is coming up, there's not a set date for it yet, but I need to do it, is more gaming content and gaming content with friends, because at some point we've got to get Slink and Andy over here and do a VR party stream.
Oh yeah.
And that's going to be done in the shop, and that will be super cool.
What happened to this keyboard?
So yeah,
crunch.
It probably got dropped. They get dropped now and then. So yeah, the boy's out shopping.
Why is the CPU fan at a bajillion RPM?
Because it's an i7 with a stock cooler on it. It may shock you to know that that cooler is garbage.
Yeah, but the CPU's also at 50C in the BIOS.
The default fan curve is probably garbage as well.
I just can't actually find the option for the fans.
Didn't that keyboard get cidered?
One of them definitely
Yeah,
did.
one of them did, yeah. I forget which one. Any West Country cider festivals? Cider festivals aren't really a thing. You do get beer festivals, and they often have some cider at said beer festivals. I haven't been to a beer festival in a long time. Myself and some of my other friends were in the habit of going to them with reasonable frequency, and then we kind of just stopped, which might have coincided with COVID, actually. So
I remember this being a thing, and us just being like, oh my god, it's actually useful.
What is the second channel? Yes, you're on it. This is the second channel. Speaking of which, we need to record a second channel trailer.
Okay.
No, that's a terrible idea. I was about to say, should we do it now? Because literally all we need to do is sit down and be like, hi, this is the second Adamant IT channel. All of the content you're looking for is under the live tab that's going to be there-ish. And then any regular videos is just going to be random stuff that we feel didn't belong on the main channel. That's just an example. This isn't the real thing, because I'd have to cut it out the VOD and it would be terrible.
Oh, okay.
Also, you need to like pretend to be on board with this. So there, done. No, this isn't it. This isn't it. It could be it. Is this funny? Would this be a funny joke?
Funny joke! Or whatever it was.
No, we will actually record a proper one. Oh, that would actually be kind of fun. No. It has to be serious. It needs to be informative, because the problem is a lot of people comment and they go, where did all the videos go? So then it actually needs to be a channel trailer that explains all of the podcasts are under the live chat tab. So yeah, anyway. There is no. The second channel is the one with the number 2 on it, not to be confused with a third channel that is called the second channel. Third channel went no. Did that come out really rude? Because I didn't.
No. Just the concept of having Adamant IT 2, Adamant IT the second channel.
Greetings from Argentina. Hello, Marcos. How you doing? No, you fucked up. I don't know. I don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah, I have assembled this. Tell me when you're done with that, and we'll plug this one in as well. What are you doing? Are you overclocking the RAM?
No.
That wasn't a prompt, by the way. It was just an interrogate. I'm just double checking.
I am enabling onboard graphics.
Oh, yeah, because that was previously the test rig, so it wouldn't have had... Yeah, that makes sense.
I was enabling onboard graphics so I can then plug into the HDMI in a minute.
Yes.
And confirm that that works, therefore no graphics card is required.
Although it will have a graphics card in it anyway, because that's going to sit in the window, so I want a GPU in there to look fancy. I'm probably going to put that 970 in there. Oh, no, the WindForce doesn't fit. Or does it? No, the WindForce doesn't fit that machine. The WindForce will probably fit in there. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's out in a customer computer at the moment. I nearly sold it. I nearly sold the 970. And then the customer came back and was just like, actually, I cocked up and I don't need that graphics card. Well, the customer came back and said, I screwed up and it wasn't the graphics card that was at fault. And at that point, my customer service kicked in. I was just like, I'm more than happy to refund you on that if it turns out to have been not required. Which is a really awkward state because I'm not required to refund him, but it feels like a real dick move to be like, sucks to be you, buddy, you bought it now, kind of thing.
I guess you can phrase it the other way around and say, do you wish to keep it?
Yeah.
You phrase it, obviously, a case of the way that
I feel like that's a loaded question.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The way that I obviously try and ask the question is in the sense of, do you wish to do the activity that is the one that I want you to do?
Yeah.
Or do you want to come up with your own answer? Do you want me to have done the work for you as to the action you're going to take? Or do you want to have to put in the effort of coming up with what you're going to do?
Yeah.
I was also just disabling legacy boot on this.
Oh, yeah. That was also enabled because of bizarre reasons, because the GPU test thing that...
I believe this will require a graphics card because the HDMI isn't HDMI.
There's no reason for it not to.
However, it is not. Therefore, it will still require a graphics card.
I think my neighbour upstairs has family around to visit today, and I think that family is young of age and jumps everywhere because the mics are probably cutting it, but the reason why we went quiet just then was just because all we could hear upstairs was just... It's like, I see. Yes, okay. We'll lob... For the sake of putting a graphics card in it, I will get a custom one-of-a-kind graphics card that we can put in there. It's a very it's a 6950. It will work, and then when that 970 WindForce comes,
No, it won't work.
Oh, is it dual thing? Oh, fucking hell!
Because this is a CX430.
God damn it! You know what else has two connectors on it?
What?
The 970.
Oh. So, you'll have to swap the power supply with the CX500.
Oh my God. I mean, what else are we going to do with that CX500?
I mean, the CX500 does have 2 PCIe power on it, right?
Yeah, and it does technically work.
Yeah, it does.
For context, this CX500 with no fan grill on, with a replacement fan in it, it's a Noctua, thank you very much. The cable just sticks out there and you just got to plug it in somewhere. However, this is the one that got coolanted.
Yes.
I can't remember. I can't remember when it happened. We were doing something with one of your PCs and some coolant.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Is the important thing. The switch is a little bit sticky.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that feels kind of gross. But I did power it up the other day and it didn't explode. So you know,
yeah, exactly.
It's got that going for it.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you fit that because yeah, the chances of me fitting it in a timely fashion is unlikely. Can I have a HDMI, please? I want to confirm that this thing boots. The Hoodney. Scartly, best option. Oh, don't. I had a customer come in the other day who, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but suffice to say, he was just like, oh, we got a new TV and it doesn't have any connectors on the back of it. I'm like, well, I'm sure it does. It probably has a lot of HDMIs, which is the current connector that everything uses kind of thing. It's like, our DVD player doesn't work with that. And I'm just like, is your DVD player SCART? He's like, yes, the standard one. I'm like, SCART has been obsolete for a long time, sir. I'm sorry, but no, you will not find a modern TV with SCART on it. So, yeah. These lives are great. It's like being with friends. I'm glad you feel that way, Marcos. We say this frequently, but we don't know what these shows are. They are something.
They are
5600 XT on the shelf. No, I'm not putting the 5600 XT on there. I want to put this needs to have a graphics card in it that looks visually impressive, but is not actually a good card, because I don't want a good card just sitting in the front window. Not because I'm worried that it's going to be robbed or anything, but because if I've got a good graphics card, I want to, put that in a PC and sell it. So there's this.
You want to sell something?
You're one to talk for that. How dare you, sir?
I don't run a shop.
That makes you exempt, does it? Like, I was going to say, if you want to play that game, we'll play that game, Henrik says, I've got an LG 2015 model, 58-inch, one of the last models with SCART in it. In 2015? Yeah, I'm impressed that a 2015 TV would have SCART.
When did we get our TV?
Yeah.
Our lounge TV has a SCART to HDMI adapter that came in the box.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that a passive adapter?
Yes, because the active adapter is inside the One Connect box.
Interesting. I suppose also HDMI has a 5-volt rail on it, so you can power small adapters from the HDMI port.
Oh yeah, but also the power cable for the TV plugs into that box.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. As Lemmy said, time to play the game. I'm sure he probably did. I'm aware of Lemmy, but I've never...
What?
Wait, Lemmy or Limmy?
Eh?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know what's going on.
I was thinking of Limmy as in the Twitch streamer Limmy, but... Yeah. Firefern says, Graham, do you still use DVDs? Not really, to be honest. I have a DVD collection, but it's been a hot minute since I've taken any of them off the shelf and watched them. I just stream everything these days.
Yes.
So,
I
yeah.
enjoy my streaming service.
Oh, Lemmy is from Motorhead, apparently, and that does ring vague bells.
Oh, the...
Looks like Blu-ray players for 3D movies. Turns out they're pretty cool in VR. That's an interesting idea. But hardly anywhere streams 3D movies. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, because if you're wearing a VR headset, you've got built-in 3D. Like, is that support, like... I guess you need a player that supports it, but that's super interesting. I have to admit, even though I'm sort of getting into VR, I've not really sat down and watched a movie in VR. There are places, there are times where I could do that. You're going to need to take out that hard drive cage.
I don't know who designed this case.
I mean, it's one, well, no, it's more than one screw, but yeah, the hard drive
But
cage
also a case of, I don't know who designed this case. But the fact that the power supply doesn't go into the power supply hole.
You want small ATX cases, this is what you...
It's lacking in height. It's the height on this lip and this lip here.
Yeah, kind of, but if you take out those lips, then it flexes and bends and doesn't work.
Sure.
Although the other option is just to have a slot in power supply with a power supply.
The other option is to not have a big bit of metal blocking it from just pulling out the case.
Yeah, but that big mess of metal stops it from just going...
No. I mean... this thing.
Okay, so your anger is against power supply enclosures, yeah.
They're pointless!
They look pretty, though.
Thus, arguably, by definition, pointless.
BBC iPlayer work, only British IP. Yeah,
What?
possibly. This was.
iPlayer for 3D movies? What?
I don't know. However, I'm having another pint, and I'm struggling right now.
Hi, how are you?
I'm in a good place for what it's worth. However,
I'm glad.
Yeah. However, also, as everyone knows, I'm a lightweight. I plugged in the power cable and the HDMI for this approximately 15 minutes ago, and I haven't pushed the power button yet. Activate! There we go.
Oh, you did plug in the power cable to the motherboard.
As a special treat, I did indeed connect all the power cables. There we go. Let's see if this thing, see if this damn thing works. For the record, I don't get drunk for entertainment. I'm just a lightweight, and I enjoy cider. I just want to make that clear. I didn't want to say ignition side because I'm not allowed to. All right, it has posted. New CPU installed. Please enter setup to configure your system. Cool. All right. I'm gonna F1 that. Am I going to stop plugging in random graphics cards and seeing if they work, like that 5600 XT?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, what's the one that doesn't work? I think it's a 66. No, that one of these cards doesn't work, and I want to know which one it is. The Wurzels. Yeah.
Why is a CX430 a power supply that is too large for the hole? It's a 430. It's not a kilowatt.
I mean, it's got a 120mm fan on it. You can't make the box any smaller than that. Corsair are pretty
Then why is the hole too small?
Because the case is small. That case is like an inch bigger than a micro ATX case, but it holds a full ATX computer. The Corsair 220T is a good case. Changed my mind. Oh yeah, good luck plugging that power supply fan into anything. I think it will be doable, but... What's the purpose of this server? What will it serve? It will serve things. And by things...
by things, I mean stuff.
Yeah. At least a Minecraft server. Possibly an Adamant IT Minecraft server that will be semi-public. Like, it will be public if you're in the Discord, I guess. Because,
it'll be public if you pay me money.
Yeah. Sai wants an Adamant IT Minecraft server. And I'm kind of interested in doing, because I tell you what else as well. I currently play Minecraft with a different friend group, but I have a suspicion we might be drifting away from it at some point in the near future. However, I want to try out Vivecraft, which is the VR mod for Minecraft. So I'm probably going to set up an Adamant IT Minecraft server that has the Vivecraft plugin installed on it.
Does that mean you have to?
No, you can have a mixed player base of VR and non-VR players. The important part about Vivecraft is just simply like there are some weird oddities. Like if you have it where there's a mixed player base, like for VR players, someone observing a VR player won't see where the VR player is looking, for example, only where their player model is looking, because Minecraft, by definition, doesn't understand the concept of the head looking a different direction to the body. Because, of course, it's kind of interesting, because when you look at something like this, you consider what it takes to actually do a VR mod to a game. Because, obviously, you think, well, how hard can it be? It's just a different camera, right? And a game can put the camera wherever it wants. But actually, you have to consider the possibility that the camera is not looking the same way as the player model, if you see what I mean. The player model can be facing over there, but I have looked to my left. Sure. And that is something that a lot of games don't take into account. Anyway, this thing is probably going to host a Minecraft server. But also, it's just like now and then, some of my friends are like, we want to play Killing Floor 2. And we need a server for that. Now I will have something that is online that can do a server. So yeah. Takes additional tracking for the VR to know that. Yeah. I can't remember the details. I was reading up on it because technically the server that I'm running for a friend group at the moment has Vivecraft on it. I just haven't gotten around to actually testing it myself. Right, I'm going to power off this system. I'm going to plug in a different graphics card. I'm going to put these thumb screws somewhere else. Ooh.
What you say?
Dear sister.
You're slim.
You are aware of Dear Sister. You just...
Nope.
You are, but you just don't know it by name.
Nope.
There was a Saturday Night Live skit.
Nope.
Where the guy keeps getting shot. And someone walks in and goes, "Oh my God, you've been shot." And then there's a gunshot and that person's been shot and they fall to the ground. And every time someone gets shot, that song starts again. And it's just like, gunshot. What you say? You've probably seen it, but you just don't know it by name.
Citation needed, but as far as I'm aware, that skit started on the Lonely Island.
I believe
YouTube
it's
channel,
I believe it stars
then,
the Lonely Island. Yes.
Yeah, and then became So that's fine. I think that's part of the reason why I was just like,
yeah, it has the Lonely Island guy in it. Yes. My understanding was that it was made for Saturday Night Live.
Ah, I see.
However, perhaps it was on Saturday Night Live and they cross-uploaded it to Lonely Island.
Oh, that's why the RGB doesn't work, 'cause it wasn't plugged in.
Yes, I had noticed that the lights hadn't come on, but I wasn't super bothered about that because it's just like, yeah, we'll sort that out later kind of thing. Whew. Graham is now slowly flagging. Yeah, we are, the timer is on 2 hours and 27. 3 hours is the hard limit. When we get to 3 hours, I'm just like, I want to end the podcast right now. Finish what you're saying, Caradog. You know. But yeah. Okay. However, I have actually crossed the point where I'm just like, I don't think I can hold a coherent conversation. So I need someone to ask easy questions so I can talk about stuff. I'm certainly at the point where I can't come up with things to talk about. Meanwhile, Caradog's just like, man, I could be 6 pints deep and not feel a thing right now.
I mean, arguably that's not a good thing, but still.
True.
Oh, does that take?
I am a cheap date, so yeah, I'm not gonna. I won't deny it.
Is that one of these?
What were you gonna say?
One of them.
Yes, it's a Imperial.
No, it's not.
Corsair, is it?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Because that's Imperial.
It is. Why? Did you just put an M3 in there?
And it's one of them.
That's also Imperial.
It is not the same Imperial as that one because that one didn't go in, but that one went in.
No.
Yeah.
No. Give me both of those screws and we're going to look at them. I will put them under the microscope.
I'm not saying that they aren't Imperial. I'm just saying that it didn't like that one because it was also a case of this was the one that was in the case.
That's a skill issue.
I had picked up the wrong screw.
That's a skill issue, and if you say otherwise, we will put them under the microscope and we will look at them.
Engage!
If anyone wants to take Graham out, just remember you need £2.50. Where the heck can you get a pint of cider for £2.50, Si? Because I want to go and drink there. Can or should you run a 1080 Ti on a 500 watt PSU?
Yes.
Yeah, that should be no issue at all. Do you know what the TDP of a 1080 Ti is?
Yeah, probably about 104 watts.
Maybe.
No, it's probably about 250.
Yeah. What CPU is
maybe.
it? Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, it ain't going to be more than 300 peak. And unless you've got a absolutely blazing hot CPU, you're not going to have an issue. 250, oh yeah, 250. Well, that's still fine. let's pretend
that still gives you 200 for your CPU.
That's it. That still gives you 200 for your CPU. And like, let's pretend that you have a bonkers CPU that is pulling 200. You're still fine. Most CPUs are 150. Like, Intel have broken the norm here, because obviously, like, modern Intel CPUs, they're thirsty boys, man. However, pretty much any AMD CPU in the Ryzen series isn't going to be more than 200 unless you're doing something bonkers.
Unless you're overclocking it, yeah. Because the package power tracking is.
Yeah. Andrew Hogg says my OC1 pulls 300, as in an OC 1080 Ti. Like, I could believe you could get it to 300, but with a 500 watt PSU, that still basically gives you 200 for your CPU. I guess you don't want to be hitting 100% on the power supply. You want a 100 watt margin of error, but again, your CPU ain't pulling that much. Unless you have the wrong BIOS, maybe. Take him to the park and buy a bottle of Frosty Jacks. Don't come at me with White Lightning, man.
As in, you have many bad experiences with it, or just...
Actually, well, in all honesty, I've never tried White Lightning. But I know enough about White Lightning to know that I shouldn't drink White Lightning.
I was never a rapscallion.
Me either, until I was already a grown man, kind of thing. However, yeah, White Lightning is like a 2-litre bottle of cider that costs £1.50 or something like that.
Oops.
Anyway, I was putting a different graphics card in this.
Yes, 15 minutes ago.
Your 15 minutes ago. Melting AMD CPUs got insane watts through them. Yeah, maybe. I'm looking forward to Gamers Nexus's deep dive on that one for curiosity's sake.
Nexus Xi.
Yeah. It's because, yeah, I don't know. It seemed to be, I don't know. There seemed to be multiple people at fault for that. I don't think they had insane watts through them, because it wasn't the core that was the problem. It was the SoC. And that's the thing. The SoC isn't pulling big watts. They were just running high voltages to stabilize it. It seems to be that what went wrong with the AMD Ryzen 7000 situation was that motherboard manufacturers, like historically, certain motherboard manufacturers, Asus, tended to run very low default voltages for whatever reason, and were just undervolting. However, on this one, it seems that they were running very hot to guarantee that...
to guarantee worse memory performance than other motherboard manufacturers who are running low voltages, like MSI or BioStar.
They were trying to guarantee that XMP would work. What's the modern AMD XMP called again?
Expo.
Expo, yeah. What is Expo short for? Or is it just
probably
called
saying like extreme performance? You know, extreme performance original something.
AMD have got their own XMP now, and it's called Expo. Anyway, to guarantee Expo performance, it seems like Asus were running the SoC hot. And
yeah, I mean everyone was running it hot, but
yeah, well,
Asus and BioStar were apparently the worst defenders.
Yeah, so that combined with BIOSes having poor damage control per se.
The overcurrent protection seeming to just not work properly.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it was a case of they were running it hot and the safety measures didn't work. That's why they were blowing up. So it's it's AMD's fault because their safety measures apparently don't work, and it was the motherboard manufacturer's fault because they were running the voltages hot in the first place.
Yeah.
And also apparently just reported voltages don't seem to align with voltage set doesn't seem to align with voltage get in any meaningful way.
Which is a known thing for a long time.
Well, for XMP, sure, but sorry, for vCore, sure, but
normally it's the other way around. You set 1.4, you get 1.38.
Yeah.
This you were setting 1.5 and getting 1.42.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, and just weird stuff like that, and like couldn't reset to defaults and things like that. It seems like every manufacturer is guilty of really damn shoddy BIOSes.
Yeah. So Jim just said white lining equals fentanyl. Oh, that got a laugh out of me anyway. Also is extended profiles for overclocking. So sure, yep.
One good thing I will say that kind of from this is the fact that AMD has said that they will warranty replace any CPU that's affected. It's just a case of explicitly confirmed that.
I feel like that's almost the minimum standard.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the bare minimum, but they have explicitly stated that they will do so.
Yeah, because like part of me wants to say like, I'm surprised because technically Expo is overclocking, therefore your warranty is invalid.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, also it's a case of the idea of XMP and Expo being voiding your warranty is
laughable.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah, it's just like, really, that, get out of here with that nonsense,
But
because you're saying this is what it's capable of, but you're also telling me that's overclocking and voids my warranty.
Yeah. Also a case of, AMD needs all the memory performance it can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Mensovan Raj, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I have a 7700. I have a 7700X. I tried to say it too fast. I have a 7700X on an Asus motherboard. Never been checking for new BIOS updates as much as I have been lately. Yeah. My understanding is that the latest BIOS, I think all of the motherboard manufacturers have all issued an emergency BIOS update that will,
I think so,
that will bring down the SoC to a safe level and is effectively this is not this doesn't fix all the problems, but this is just at least we're making sure that we're not melting your SoC anymore.
Yeah, the thing you can do is just set your SoC voltage to, a set of 1.35. Make sure you're still, and just check you're still stable, because you should still be absolutely fine as long as you're not pushing more than 6,000.
Yeah, so in which case then, if you were to, but let's say you don't want to start setting manual voltages, if you did a BIOS update and then just checked your SoC voltage.
Oh yeah, if there is no BIOS update.
Yeah.
If there is no BIOS, if there is no BIOS update for your BIOS,
yeah,
just set your SoC manually.
Reasonable.
And that also does much the same as the sort of interim fixing, from my limited understanding of the situation.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I got as far as taking the graphics card out of this. Right, does this 5600 XT work? I think this one does. I think there is another AMD card somewhere around that doesn't work, and I need to find which one is which. Okay, right. Come on, Graham, you can do this. Right, it's that that's causing me problems.
However, ta-da!
Good. Yeah, no, that doesn't matter. Could you quickly do me a solid? Just fire that back up again and just check whether it's got Windows 10 Home or Pro on it. Just so I know whether I've got to do something about that or not. Because if it's got if it has Pro on it, then I can be like, cool, that is ready to go. Where if it's got Home on it, then I know that I need to either reinstall Windows or get a Pro key.
10 Pro.
Oh yes, 10 Pro. Yeah, cool.
Yes, that's why I said 10 Pro.
Well, for a minute I was like, where does it tell you that? Because I was looking at the top 3 lines. But then the 4th line said the Windows 10 Pro. Thanks.
The Windows 10 Pro. The Pro 10 for Pros.
Emperor's New Groove is a really good movie. It's worth watching. Disney need to do more stuff like that. It was funny.
I've never actually seen it.
Really?
No.
It's a good movie. Watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never actually seen it.
Yeah. Emperor's New Groove is legitimately a funny movie. Yeah. It was... there's a conversation to be had because Disney did a lot of really weird stuff. Like Emperor's New Groove has a lot of meta jokes in it, which is a case of like, okay, that's kind of weird for you to, like there's a lot of there's numerous fourth wall breaks in it, and it's like anytime you do a joke that breaks the fourth wall is super dangerous kind of thing. That's a case of do it right or don't do it at all. There's a cloth on the main bench and the glass cleaner is next to the microscope. And Emperor's New Groove pulls it off. All right, yeah, it says, I'm off, takeaway's arrived. All right, thanks for coming along, Yate.
Solidly considering a takeaway this evening.
Maybe. What do you got in mind?
Something alcohol absorbing.
Fair enough.
Only, the fact I actually have to drive.
Mm.
And I am uncertain as to the amount I've drunk, given I've been drinking it in quarters.
Yeah, that's one of the dangers of the whole bag of cider thing, isn't it? Yeah. Chinese for us tonight. Indian, yeah. Cannelloni. Cannelloni. What's cannelloni?
Folded pizza?
No, that's something else, isn't it? Or am I going insane?
Wait, what's the folded pizza?
Yeah,
Hold on.
What's the folded pizza? Because that sounds like cannelloni, but it's not.
No, wait.
Calzone. Is the folded pizza. Yep.
Calzone.
What's cannelloni? Or is that what Amsterdam actually meant?
Calzone is...
Oh, okay. Cannelloni is tubular pasta with ricotta, apparently.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wait.
Yes.
Folded lasagna rolls. Folded lasagna rolls? That sounds banging. I'm a big lasagna fan. I'd be into that.
All right, Garfield.
How very dare, but also okay. It's tube. Wife is Italian. Fair enough. Stromboli. There are so many.
Strombergoni.
There are so many types of pasta that I give up trying to pronounce them, and every time I pronounce the name of a pasta, I get it wrong, and the person looks at me like I just murdered something.
My favorite, absolute favorite thing is
that I've said, or just your favorite thing.
There is an Italian man that I know.
I see,
and it is incredible hearing him complain about the way you cook food. It's fabulous. It's so entertaining, and bless him and his cotton socks. We intentionally wind him up about it.
Yeah. I'm the punching bag of one of my friend groups because I'm the only English person in the group. The only other UK person is a Scottish person, and he manages to deflect these jokes because Scottish, not English. So any time there is bad food or someone who does not understand spices, I am the punching bag for that joke. And I will take this with a smile because it's funny, because also I don't like spice, so it's also a half truth. You did a really terrible job of that. I'm not going to lie.
How?
Like whatever you were trying to do, you did it wrong.
How?
That's a good question. You tell me how. You wiped it down and somehow there's smears all over it.
I know.
Like part of it is you need to get the glass, not the glass cleaner. You need to also get the Mr. Sheen. But also all of the smears are on the back.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't understand. Also,
smears were on the towel. That too does not help. Also, yes, like you say, this is not posted. Is that graphics card kill? What are the GPUs?
Did you actually plug in the power to it?
No, I did not. I can't help but feel this is somehow your fault.
How about I give you the simple task? You do the wipey.
If it's one thing I'm good at, it's polishing tempered glass side panels, because that's what really matters.
That felt wrong, but was actually fine.
Yeah.
It just, yes, the +2 didn't quite line up properly.
I hate it when that happens. Mr. Sheen. I didn't intend to do that. That's just the way that suddenly went. And I'm like, haha, that's funny, right?
Mr. Oh, the VGA graphics card is not supported by UEF driver.
What?
Excuse me?
Nani?
How is a 5600 not supported by the UEFI driver?
Yeah. What the heck?
Also, where's the thingy for the CSM? There you go.
I see.
Disable. Disable the CSM. Do not the CSM.
That's one of my beefs with... I've got a love-hate relationship with Asus for this. They try to automatically enable and disable things to guarantee that the board will boot, but it also means that they will change things that you have disabled. You know, like for example with XMP, Asus boards will try and enable XMP by default, which in a way is a good thing because it means that the average user will get XMP even if they don't understand that they have to turn that on. But then sometimes it'll be like, we turned on CSM, and I'm like, I don't want CSM. You know, it's like,
Is there actually any media for this to boot from?
No. Next question.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very well.
There is an M.2 SSD here, and I needed to put it in, and I didn't put it in because I have to take out half of the things. So yes, we do not require this, but thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying my hardest, all right? Right, I have polished this glass panel, which
Excellent.
has added 10 FPS to our benchmarks.
Fabulous. Glorious.
Ugh.
Oh!
Whoa! What the heck was that?
I think I was pressing on.
Were you holding down F1 and you've opened up about 10,000 Edge windows going to the Microsoft homepage? Behold, a built computer. I did it all myself. There we go. That lives. I'm just going to put this somewhere else now. We're done with this. It works.
I am done with you. Be gone. Whoop.
Discard. Oof. Right.
Go.
All right. I can help. I was trying to stay out of your way. 5600, I think, had a GOP update, a GOP update.
What?
Don't know.
5600 GOP.
Lead Farmer, elaborate.
I do not understand.
Tell me where O Keeper of Sticks. BIOS is old.
Oh.
It should be fine.
Ah.
Put that away. What is GOP, Lead Farmer? I don't recognize that term. Whoop. Where is Adam and Brody? I ask myself the same thing every day. Hello, Orun. GOP is the graphics EFI something. Oh, I see. Fair enough.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super fussed which it is as long as it's appropriate for the card. You know, the issue there was that a 5600 XT should support UEFI. So if the BIOS pops up saying, this 5600 XT does not support UEFI, it's like, well, what the hell is wrong with that graphics card then?
I think it was because it was trying to CSM boot it.
Right, that's an RTX. That's one of your 3060s or your 3060. Where the heck is it? I'm sure there was another GPU that was untested and needed testing. Part of me feels like I'm compelled to find out where it is and what it is now, just to prove a point. But also, I'm just like, oh, you know what?
Where are they?
Where are the drugs going? Yeah, no, I'm flagging. I'm going to sit down for a bit, I think. Oh. Do you do USB-C repair with or without a microscope? With a microscope. I have done 2 successful USB Type-C repairs with multiple repaired pads that I was very proud of, actually. However, at the time of doing them, I was feeling like I was, I didn't record because I wasn't feeling confident. However, they ended up being 2 good repairs, and after I finished them, I was like, I wish I'd been recording that. However, I've got another one in, actually. I've got a HP that needs 2 Type-C ports replaced on it. And I've got the replacement ports, and I will be recording for that one. So I'm hoping that one goes to plan. So there will be a plan in place for that one. How's the stream going so far? It's going well. I've just had a bit too much and I'm struggling. The cider's really good. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, we've been tinkering around with some of the PCs in. We've built up the Corsair 220T as a what's going to be the shop Minecraft server, because everyone's got to have a Minecraft server, right? And the GPU test rig now has an AM4 platform in it. What?
I went, everyone's got to have a Minecraft server. You've got to party like it's 2015 when Minecraft came out in my head. And I was just like, wait, you've got to party like it's 2005.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Man, I remember when I got into Minecraft super bad in like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
When we were super into, when Java Minecraft mods became a mega thing, and we were super into modded Minecraft. That was hectic.
Well,
it was
when
really
I
good.
was physically present.
Yeah, man, I have a lot of very fond memories of playing modded Minecraft in late 2012, early 2013. You're going to drink on stream, you've got to have a substantial lunch beforehand. I do have a reasonable lunch, but I eat lunch at like 12 o'clock, which is kind of the problem. So yeah. Are USB Type-C ports pricey? They're a couple of quid each. They don't cost a huge... The ports themselves are not mega expensive. The problem is that when a USB-C port breaks, it's really, really common to have torn pads. So if you've got a bad USB Type-C port on a laptop, expect to have to do trace repair, which is what makes it difficult. So you're going to have to run tiny little magnet wire links. This HP that I've got to work on might be very generous and have all through-hole pins on it, but I'm not sure yet.
This is a customer SSD.
Darn. Yeah. Fine. Did you see
yes.
No, you can't see a name on that. Yeah,
yes,
sorry.
I can.
Sorry, I was about to say...
I cannot say a name on that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was about to say, what name is it under automatically, so I could tell more about it. And then I was like, wait, no, you can't say that on stream. So... Caradog is doing I see. Caradog is sending me sweet nothings in Notepad. Yeah.
Yes.
This one will have been upgraded and it will not be required. However, but the fact remains is that we shouldn't use this one. What we should do... I think what we should do is take the SSD that's in the 220T and put that in here, and then I should put like a 500 gig SSD in the 220. Well, whatever the smallest brand new SSD I've got kicking around in, put that in the 220T, because the 220T actually requires storage, whereas this does not require storage. That's what I'm trying to gun at here. Are you laughing at me or something you've seen on this?
No, I read these as a single item. Personalized door sign, extra thick memory foam mattress. I was like, what?
I see. Back comes the 220T. No, it doesn't, because we've got 5 minutes. So, Chris Hertford said, just tuned in. Did you get the glasses? Did you send them, Chris? Are these your responsibility?
As in the drinking receptacles, yes.
Yes.
As opposed to the eyeglasses. Because you said you bought new eyeglasses last week.
Oh,
well.
Yes. Yes. I thought you meant I as in the letter I glasses. I'm like...
Spectacles! Yeah. Spectacles, dear man.
Spectacles, if you will. Because I also bought those.
You bought spectacles to go with your testicles.
I have new glasses on the way that I'm expecting a call for any day. I'm sad that they were not in stock this week. And also, I have purchased prescription lenses for my VR headset that I'm very excited for. And they will be received at some point this week as well. None of them have arrived yet. However, the vessels for drinking liquids from, these have arrived. If you sent them, Chris, thank you very much. I have had several drinks from them in this stream, if it is not apparently obvious. How crazy would it be to pair a 6950 XT with a Ryzen 3600? Prices finally seem to be quite acceptable, and I would like to future-proof myself from another mining craze. I mean, I think it's complete...
Yeah. I don't think that's a problem as long as you're playing above 1080p.
Yeah, the 3600 is getting a little bit long in the tooth for high-end gaming. However, I think it's never a waste of time to buy a high-end graphics card because you can just move that to your next computer.
Yeah.
I think, like, if you were to turn around and say, should I buy a Ryzen 5000 for my motherboard? It's a case of, well, maybe you should think about upgrading to AM5 or something like that. However, buying a 6950 XT, they're crazy good bang for buck right now. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's a case of, at face value, should I buy a 6950 XT? Sure, I think that's a good idea, because you can still use that when you upgrade your CPU later on down the line. Hell, even if you upgraded your CPU to a 5800 X3D, which is obviously a very viable upgrade for anyone running AM4 right now.
Absolutely.
You know, that would still run really well with your 6950 XT. Despite the fact that AM4 is now arguably a dead-end platform, slapping a 5800 X3D into your AM4 motherboard still gives you one of the fastest gaming platforms that money can buy. So yeah. Plastic, not prescription. Yes, indeed. So yes, I gather that is a yes, Chris Hertford. You did indeed send the plastic glasses. Thank you very much. It was much appreciated. I made a joke at the start of the stream that the grift is now complete and we can just... Anything that we don't have, we've just got to look pathetic on stream and someone will buy it for us. So yes. I had a chuckle when these showed up because the Amazon man arrived and I was like, I'm not expecting anything from Amazon. And I opened the box in earnest, took it out and was just like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And that's the end of the story. $66.50 XT for 252. What's this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 6650 XT. That's going to give the that's going to give the 3060 a 3060 Ti a bloody nose. Yeah. Oh man, for £250.
Yeah.
That's cracking, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a couple of models of that were selling really cheap in the UK this week.
Yeah. Part of me wants to buy them, but the other part of me is just like, I don't want to buy stuff without having a seller lined up right now.
Yeah.
But also, like, that's value for money that you're not going to beat.
But also just a case of you need to sell the PCs you already have.
That's precisely it. That's also one of the reasons why, you know, I was having a bit of a dilemma with that PC that I mentioned earlier on. where I was just like, should I spec it with the 5800X or not? Because if I could spec it with the 5800X, I'd have all the stuff in stock for that. But the other part of me is just...
Oh, right, yeah.
But the other part of me is just like, the problem is with the budget that we've gone to, I kind of want to give that customer something that is latest gen.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna bite the bullet and go latest gen for that, even though I technically could just flog them a 5800X. However, yeah, we'll go latest gen for that one. What I need to do is just stick price tags on those.
Yeah, I think what we should do is quickly run through a good, sensible 5800X based off of the parts that are in the shop and price that up and then go, right, price. 13th gen, price. Mr. Customer, price.
Sure.
You pick.
Yeah.
I would suggest the 13th gen because new, current. However, this is a cheaper option that is still incredibly valid.
There's like £100 in it, basically.
Yeah. But it's a case
I was speccing it up yesterday and basically there's £100 in it.
But a case of, here is a slightly cheaper option that is still entirely valid. My recommendation is this one, but if you wanted to save the £100, there's this one.
Yeah.
And if they choose to save the £100, they've chosen to save the £100, even if you've told them you recommend the other option.
Based on my conversation with them, they'll take the more expensive option. So
yeah, but you have provided them with an option, and therefore you can charge them a higher price on the other one because you've given a cheaper price.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not necessarily because you expect them to take it or anything like that, but because you're providing an option, they are choosing a higher price. You can charge them more effectively.
Yeah, I'll throw both of them at them because I'm gonna send the invoice over I'm going to send the quote over to them this weekend. However, also yes, I do just need to stick a price on the PCs that are out there. The Lianli is the difficult one. I need to figure out what the hell we're doing with the Lianli.
Do you want to sell it? I mean, as a computer, do you want to sell it or do you want to keep bits from it? Because, like, I don't know why you'd sell the EK Elite.
That's the problem. So
because
it's just
I don't know why
So let me rephrase the question. Is the Lianli for sale?
I think you should sell almost all of the parts from it, but I don't think you should sell it as a complete computer.
Yeah.
Just because I think you should keep the EK Elite.
So in which case, should I take the EK out of it because I'm not selling it with the EK? But then what will I do with the EK?
Put it into the computer that you build to replace it once it is sold. But it's a case of, I would sell it with a price tag based on a standard £110 AIO and say, if you want this AIO, it's another £100.
Sure. Yeah. If you want the fancy EK that is not necessarily better performing, but looks stunning.
Yeah.
That's,
And just show people the £100 effectively.
Reasonable.
Also, where did I put the damn screws? Oh, no.
Firephone says, Graham, are you minus or plus? Elaborate. What do you mean by that? You're building one with one this week, ordered a couple of days ago. That's fair, yeah. The Asus Dual. That's nice as well, that it's like an Asus Dual fan card. Those always look nice. Because like, some of the cheap graphics cards are like the MSI Ventus models, and they kind of, they're fine, but they look like the cheapest graphics card that you could get from that category, and I feel bad for speccing with those. Whew. Yeah, DP says, I thought getting the 2070 Super Strix for 300 was a deal. For 300 Canadian, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, 300 Canadian, that's not terrible, but yeah. That's the thing, the Lianli has a 2070 Super in it as well. It's got a really oddball configuration in it that looks visually impressive, but doesn't make sense as a computer that I'm selling. It's a bit awkward. What I did do, I sold one of the 5800X CPUs I had, or rather, I traded it in for a 3800X, which means I can lower the price on the Corsair.
Okay.
I got trade-in value for it. I traded it in with a customer because they had a 3800X and were just like, I kind of want to max this. They had a 3800X and an X570 motherboard. So they've traded up to a 5800X, so their computer is finished. and I've managed to get a slightly cheaper CPU, which means I can lower the price on the Corsair over there.
Yeah.
Because that Corsair was in a weird place where the parts were, the CPU was overspec'd for the price tag that I'm aiming for with that PC.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this conversation in English. Maybe you have, Si. Maybe you have. I think I have as well, but yeah, Caradog has finished swapping SSDs over. Next video. Next video is going to be... the next video is going to be... I want it to be the sound card, but I haven't actually authorized the repair with the client yet. I've done the repair, and I'm like, now I need to talk to the customer and say, yes, I can do this repair. It will cost this much. Do you agree? Because the weird thing about this business is sometimes you have to do the repair to find out if you can do the repair. But I might just say, sod it, and just do it anyway. I'm probably going to undercharge on that repair anyway, because it's a weird experimental one.
Fair
What are
enough.
you seeking?
The wireless.
Of
some kind.
The Wi-Fi's are there.
Oh, actually. Cool.
Were you going to tether your phone?
No.
Okay.
I was going to plug this in because I think I've got the GPU drivers on here anyway.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Stop undercharging. Maybe. I don't mind undercharging if it's a job that didn't cause me a lot of hassle and I got video content out of it.
What is that? Oh, it's an AMD. Yeah.
Oh, plus minus on glasses. I see. I am minus on glasses. My prescription is like -2 the first one and dunno.
Some other numbers in some other places.
Yes. The -2 on the roll, I think, is the bit that throws my eyes out. My left eye's got a -2 roll on it or something like that.
That's measured in degrees.
-2 degrees then, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one that makes my eyes particularly out. Everything else is not bad. I can take off my glasses and I can see just fine. My glasses just give me HD vision, so to speak. So yes. Who else repairs near Adamant IT shop? No one doing circuit level repairs. I think in fact, I have a suspicion, you know the other shop in Gillingham that's
no longer.
Yeah, the one that's on Broad Robin. I think they've closed.
Really?
Yeah. Don't
Only
quote me on that.
20 years late.
I mean, I got nothing. I don't know. I'm not going to. I don't know them well enough to say anything else. However, I have a suspicion that they've stopped trading. And the other one in Gillingham, I don't think they want to do repairs at the moment. They're trying to get rid of their repair side. So I have a suspicion I might be the only game for for a 20-mile radius.
Again.
Yeah. Once again, I seem to have outlasted all of my competitors.
Yes.
So yeah. I'm crashing something fierce. I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English. And
I was going to say we're not going to do anything else specifically.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Happy Monopoly win. Yes, I need to do this too. I've enjoyed this drunken rabble in English. Or they went to greener pastures. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't know which. But yeah.
I was going to say the conversation is not one for YouTube.
No.
There are much aspersions.
Yeah, and plus I don't like speculating on my competitors and stuff. It's not very often I use the phrase unprofessional. However, I think it's not professional to talk smack or to just speculate on your competitors.
Yeah.
I think that is unprofessional. So therefore I shall not do any such thing. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Tell Si later. Maybe. It's been fun. Thanks, guys. It could improve. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been an adventure. We'll be back next Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
With something else.
Indeed. There will be things and stuff.
Yeah. We should
will be here.
We should probably fire up the freezer at some point and make sure that still works.
Probably.
Yeah. we've no reason to believe it doesn't work, but we actually haven't turned it on again since.
No.
So technically, we should do that. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Sweetwell says, cheers, Graham, Caradog, and all the guys in chat. Enjoy the bank holidays and have a fruitful week. We will. Thank you very much. Do Google Pixel phones not support HDMI capture? He was trying to run it through OBS and no signal. Can you do HDMI output from a Pixel? I wouldn't know, but
I can't recall. I can't recall. I know there is something. I would imagine not, just because Google don't sell a dock. Whereas I know that like the S22, S23, S21 do support video output over the USB.
Interesting.
Because Samsung sells the DACs dock.
Yeah. Oh, of course they do. Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that my Pixel will not work with my USB-C screen. So, yeah.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
it may be something that is possible to make work, but by the standard default configuration, no. Not to the time aware of.
Make of that what you will.
Indeed.
JD says, damn, you're still live. Well, maybe just because you said that, I'm going to hit stop streaming now. So, thanks everyone for tuning in. Coolant taste test next week. No, for forbidden cider. Or whatever that
I
joke
thought
is.
we were just calling whiskey.
Oh, no. Wow. Caradog coming in with the flame there. Bye, everyone. End stream.
Have fun.